What is up, everybody? Happy Thursday. I love the intro. It's the intro for The Guilty of Crime in the Dark. So, what's up, Sadie's mama? Jax Stormo, good to see you. All right, yeah. So, Randy, what's up, Randy? Hit the like button on your way in. If you're in the rewatch crew later on, do me a favor. Subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe. I've got lots and lots of views on many videos and likes, and people forget to subscribe. Otherwise, I'd have hopefully 100,000 subscribers by now. Thank you, Kirsten Miller. All right, so what's up, sweetie? Good to see you. All right, so we tackled a pretty big series, and hey, Carly, good to see you. Hit the like button. We tackled this big series on Lauren Dumolo, and we've been working with her father, Paul, and the time has come. We're in the end of the episodes. M. Shaw. So today we say goodbye to this case for us. I'm just gonna start with how big this case has gotten, and we ride for Lauren is the name of the episode on Complicit, and we're going to see how much Paul has done this entire time for his daughter in searching for her, and how big this case has gotten. And 4 years later, we are where we are, and we've had enough. Let's listen to this.
Since Cape Coral mother Lauren Dumolo disappeared, and now she's being featured on the cover of People magazine. Investigators are hoping that this helps them get a break in the case. NBC2's Jessica Babb is live in Cape Coral after speaking with Lauren's family, who says police are making progress.
15 months later, and these missing posters are still up in Four Freedoms Park, where Lauren Dumolo's shirt and purse were found. Even though there haven't been many answers as to what happened with her, Crime Stoppers say they are making progress, and it's not a cold case. They say they are still investigating.
You don't have any closure. Not knowing is actually worse than knowing, I believe.
Lauren Dumolo's father and sister are left wondering what happened to her.
It's tormenting, really.
A fate her family is still trying to figure out.
I think that's what keeps us all going, is the hope that eventually this will all come to an end.
Now, with national attention, the goal is getting more answers.
A young woman, a mother, doesn't just disappear off the face of the earth with no trace at all, and nobody knows anything about it. Somebody knows something.
Last June, Lauren was last seen at her apartment off Coronado Parkway. The surveillance video showing her applying for a job the day before.
You see this, time and time again, but you never think that it can happen to you.
Over a year later, police say they are still investigating.
It's definitely fair to say the progress is...
Now, I'll pause it just for a second. Hello, everybody. Hello, 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 as you come in. Now, we've done 7 parts on this, and, it doesn't take a toll on us. It doesn't take a toll on me like it does with the family. With the family, as things may get closer, it can get tolling. It can get scary. Sometimes when you do get closer to the truth, it may be something that you actually didn't want or don't need, or maybe you just needed the closure of talking about it some more. I don't know. I luckily am not a victim, and I'm not a family member of a victim. So we never know how people grieve or what they're going through. And that I always say, This is a really good example of how I work for the families and the victim of the families, victim and victim of the family. So however they feel, what they say is what I conform to and how it goes. And so today I linked the Complicit podcast in Spotify as well as the podcast on YouTube for Complicit. They did a fantastic job. And so today we're going to play the seventh. Actually, we're on our seventh episode. We're on their sixth episode, remaining 3. You can go over there and listen to it after. We're still in the same place, however, of not finding Lauren. But we have to let the police and the higher ups do their job, and not with the family involved. We have to let them take a toll on them, not on the family. This is my first real experience with this type of thing, working that closely with the family. So you just don't know how people are going to grieve or take things.
Is being made. Information is trickling in.
Lauren's dad says Cape Coral police had a warrant for forensics.
They did gather up some forensic evidence, and from what I understood, the FBI said yes that they would do a forensic profile.
Cape Coral police wouldn't confirm that.
There's always hope. There is never a case out there that is unsolvable.
If I had the opportunity, I would have hugged her longer. I would have said I love you more than one time. Somebody is going to say something, and they're going to give us that missing puzzle piece that we've been searching for so long.
As they continue investigating new leads, if you have any information about what happened, call police or Crime Stoppers. You can stay anonymous, and there could be a reward. In Cape Coral, Jessica Babb, NBC2.
All right, what is up, everybody? We have a smaller crowd today, which is kind of good because we can focus on Lauren. Paul's going to come in here in a bit and let you know what he's thinking. Yes, hello everybody. All the mods are here today. Bethany is here. She's not a mod, but hello. Scary Sherry. Thank you all. This is definitely not an easy job, especially when you're coming to the end of something that you've been doing for the last, I think, 7 weeks now. So let me play this also. This came from Paul, and you can see on here, yeah, Lauren is very beautiful, and it's so just heartbreaking to see this coming from Paul. And then we're going to hear from Paul later, although I did offer to, just take care of this and let you all know that, we've done a good, 14 hours into this case, and we're going to let the police do their job, and whoever else has been working on it, let them do theirs. What is up? Hot mess? And I still don't know that. I everybody can tell me what it is, but I read it and I'm like, I don't remember it next time. Yeah, Lauren's so beautiful. Look at that. Let's watch this real quick. It actually looks like it may have been scrolling while I was doing that, but let's focus on her, and then I'll get into We Ride for Lauren. No, I'm not cut out for that. We love being part of the crew. Right. Yeah, I'm not even cut out for it sometimes, doing this. When I think I'm prepared, then something comes my way. What's up, Clarence Drew? Something comes my way, and I'm like, wow, I didn't know this was part of what I signed up for, but I'm going to go with it. All right, as this scrolls through, let's remember Lauren. I'll start it from the beginning, and then we'll get to the episode. She's is beautiful, was beautiful, and whatever happened to her. Equines, hot mess equines. Did I say it right? Or is it equines? Equines. Hot mess equines. I'm going to go with that one because every time I mess it up. At least don't forget to hit the like button for this, all right, guys? I see equines. And then JoJo says equines. So you know what I'm saying? You guys are too much. It's good to smile though as we watch Lauren go through there. The picture, she's so beautiful. That came from her father. That has been on the national news. He's been on, you saw the People magazine. She was on there, and he's had a hand in all of this. The Complicit podcast series. Dr. Phil and many others. So over the years, he's been just out there, and it takes a toll. It's not an easy job. Bethany Weaver, what's up? Lauren does have a beautiful smile. You could tell she lit up a room. Her daughter is beautiful. Synth, what's up? Yay, I got it. Oh man, you guys are too much. All right, we're about halfway through. Let's just say take a silent moment for Lauren, whether you pray or whatever. Whatever you do, say a prayer, put out some good vibes that whatever comes to be with this case will be. Because that's what the universe wants it to be. And we're going to let the family rest for a while. All right. She is beautiful, and it's too bad that she's no longer in the presence of the family, because I can't imagine that, I should say. Her baby was over there with her doing the Zen thing. I didn't do that right, but so cute. Yeah, I could see why she looks a lot like Paul. I can understand where he's coming from. Her baby girl is beautiful as well. And yeah, you can see Paul's face in her, definitely. So remember Lauren, folks, and hit the like, share it. We're still going to keep the series and what we did. We're just not going to cover any further. But we now have a slot for other cases. Oh, look at that. I've never seen this picture before. And she's blowing us a kiss. And then missing. So June 19th, 2020, folks. She's been missing for 2 years. I'm sorry, 4 years and 2 months. All right, let's pull that down. And whoa, the screen's big. All right. I said it right. I own equines or equines. See, every time I get it, I'm like equines, equines, equines. There's so many different ways. I can say it right, but then so many different interpretations. Yeah, definitely beautiful smile. All right, let's so funny. Jojo, were you not paying attention? She was living with her boyfriend / fiance. So as we're doing this, it's wines. Yeah, wines. Wines. That's a weird word. I'll just call you Hot Mess Wines. Make it easy. No roommates, Jojo. It was her boyfriend / fiance that Paul had never met. Thank you for all you do, Jay. Cheech Brown. Thank you for being a member for 4 months. That's awesome. You missed a couple episodes. Oh, perfecto. Good. Yes. All right. Well, we did the Lauren thing. We're gonna put Complicit up here with the 6th episode of We Ride for Lauren, and it's going to talk more about all the searching that went on and the things that happened. And then hopefully, Complicit won awards doing this show, and they did a fantastic job at it. I had never come across this case until Carrie brought it to me, and then so graciously Complicit let us cover this and bring it to life. So with 7 episodes, I would hope it brought it to life, and the characters and the people and Paul and his personality and everyone getting to meet him. All right, what did we say? You watched the last one. Okay. I finished my pickles in time. Yay, pickles. All right, y'all. Thank you all for being here. Just say horses. Hot mess horses. Military Ma, good to see you. Good to see you. Happy Thursday, everybody. That means next week we're going to be covering something else, anything else we're going to be covering. So we've got Sarah Boone coming up. We've got more of everything coming up. We've got more Sonia Massey. We've got just a ton of things. All right, I'm going to hit play on this, and then I'll see what you guys are commenting on.
That Lauren was fighting like hell to live. You know, she wanted to be happy.
Friends and family are still searching for this missing Cape Coral woman. It's now been 3 months since she was last seen.
Today, family and friends hit the streets for a bike ride to keep Lauren's name out there.
Motorcycles, shirts, and tears to help find Cape Coral's missing mom, Lauren Dumolo.
Where is Lauren Dumolo? I'm Hillary Wadsworth. And I'm Caitlin Body. And you're listening to Complicit.
And this has been Complicit. I'm going to report back to them, let them know that we finished, and they can take a look at it. My daughter is better. She's sleeping right now, and she shouldn't be, but she doesn't have a fever anymore, and tomorrow she'll be going back to school. She's still repping herself, I think. Who are we talking about here? I want to know. Oh, yes. Oh, man, Adam, what's up? Looney Booney is definitely representing herself, and it's so annoying that at the same time it's intriguing. She annoys me to no extent, but at the same time I can't look away. Does that count for a hot mess? Tell me if that counts for a hot mess. Oh man, all right. Yeah, we're definitely going to continue covering Sarah Boone for sure. I can't stop watching her, even though I don't know if she tries to annoy the judge and everybody else on purpose or what the deal is, but let's listen to this.
Chapter 16. We Ride for Lauren. Now we've told you everything we know about the events leading up to the day Lauren disappeared. There was quite a bit that had been going on in Lauren's life. And while everything does seem to hover as relevant to her disappearance, there was no definitive proof that any of it was related. The police were still tracking down leads, still investigating evidence, but they still had no answers. We'll now pick the story back up from where we left off in episode 3. To recap where we left off a bit, Gabby had just given his second news interview, and in it, he told the reporter that he believed Lauren had been out searching for a new apartment. He said that maybe someone had taken advantage of that and something happened. And alongside Gabby mentioning an apartment search, the same maintenance man who told police that he had seen Lauren the morning of Friday, June 19th, also told police that Lauren had approached him earlier the previous afternoon on June 18th to ask him if he knew about any available apartments because she had to get out of a bad situation.
So I'll pause it for a second just to fill you all in if you don't remember who Gabby was. Gabby was the guy that she was living with. It was her boyfriend that was supposed to be her fiance. Supposedly they were together for 4 years. Paul, her dad, came after Lauren went missing. Paul came to search for her, and Gabby didn't file a missing person report. Paul made him do that, and then he left with the TV. What a stand-up guy, right? Not a stand-up guy. So remember, and then we just talked about the maintenance man. So something was coming, and I think Lauren knew something was coming, and that's where we are. And 4 years later, we're still talking about her. We remember her, but I don't think that she would want her family to let this take a toll on them, and that's how I feel about it.
In the meantime, Paul, Cassie, and Lindsay had continued their own searches, continued doing news interviews, continued to get Lauren's name out to the public, and it did help garner more attention. By now, national news coverage had taken hold, and Lauren's story was plastered across Dateline, Oxygen Network, People Magazine. John Walsh and even Dr. Oz wanted to talk. But on the ground, Lauren's case seemed to be growing colder by the day. Lauren's angels, though, were just getting started, and they were about to turn up the heat. Danny and her core group of searchers weren't giving up, and they had an idea to make Lauren's story more personal to the community, to physically bring people together and get them involved and interested in Lauren. They began organizing what was to become the first of many community-driven events to keep Lauren's name and face shining bright in the area, loud and clear. The event was called We Ride for Lauren. Its goal was not only to raise awareness, but also to raise funds, and was set for Saturday, October 3rd, 2020. which would be 3.5 months since Lauren disappeared. The kickoff.
Now, remember, this was 4 years ago. And when you think about all of the things that they've done, that's a lot. That's tolling. I've only been covering this case for 2 months now, every Thursday. And that's like, okay, it's a lot of energy put into it. But my energy that's put into it is energy that's not one that's draining and sad and not knowing. And, I'm putting my energy into it to put it out there back in the light and give the family a voice. All right. So it's not tolling on me in that way. And man, 4 years of this can be crazy, and it can be solved, but that's up to the police to do this. And that's up for, that's up to whoever's taking this. I hope somebody grabs this case with fresh eyes and takes a look at it that has the authority to do so. That's what I pray for, if that's what's meant to be. Many times cases do get solved way later on and without us even doing searches. Now, I don't know if anyone has heard of the Maya Miliete case. I do want to cover that because that's a crazy one where she went missing, never came back out of the house, and there's a trial going on right now without a body. So Maya Miliete, and yeah, it's a wild one. Trials starting pre-trial was messy, and so I actually have many cases that I want to do, and we still have Sade Robinson to update. There's a big update in the Sonia Massey case as well, but there's never end of cases, folks.
For the event was to be a motorcycle ride through the streets of Cape Coral and all the noise and hoopla surrounding that. Paul is a big biker, a Harley guy, and this ride for Lauren was his way of fueling awareness, literally through the streets. It would end at a local restaurant and be a family fun day for all.
We were going to have silent auctions. We had music, dunk tank, face painting, bounce house, a photo picture booth, just a lot of things. So it would be family oriented, and it was to keep the community involved and raise some money.
Danny reached out to me and we jumped all over it. I love giving back to the community. I know my partners do as well. We do Thanksgiving giveaways and we give away meals to families that are in need. So, anytime that there's a disaster in Florida, we always jump in to try to just help out as much as we can. So when it came to this, it was like, all right, let's rock.
That's Jason. He's the owner of Big Ten Tavern, where the main event was to be held. Jason and his team went to work helping to plan and support the event. Everyone was in planning mode, excited, eager, a new bout of energy ignited within them.
And it's so good to hear this in the beginning. Yeah, this is this is a Florida case, but the case I'm talking about is actually in California, and one of my favorite places in the world is San Diego, California. So not to take away from Lauren, but I want to relate this to Lauren about Maya Miliete went missing around the same time in 2020. So it's actually been about 3.5 year mark for her, and people think things aren't going to get solved. Her husband is currently housed in jail, going to trial and active without a body. So I do want you to know there's hope. And I think covering a California case would be awesome because I'm in California, and in Florida, that's great. But there's not much else I could do. My hands tied on it. This will be the 7th episode. And I just think they're relatable cases in the way that they're missing. No bodies being found in the Maya Miliete case, but yet they still have somebody on trial. Very crazy, very crazy. So you just don't know. All right, let's keep Lauren. We're here. We hope that one day there's justice.
A new approach to finding Lauren. But right in the midst of the event planning, the family was hit with another unforeseen situation. On the evening of September 14th, 2020, Lauren's mom, Anne, was admitted to the hospital under dire circumstances. You may be wondering, what does this have to do with Lauren? Well, as you will learn through this episode, maybe quite a bit. Anne had been found incoherent on the floor of her bathroom. Aunt Sue described what happened.
Jeffrey went to go get ready for work.
All right, if you don't remember who Anne is, which I don't expect you to because it's such a big story, this is a wild case. Anne is Lauren's mother, her biological mother, and Paul's ex-wife. She died right after Lauren went missing. So, I mean, we're just talking about one thing after the other, not only for Paul, but the whole entire family. Liv Wade says, woman from my town was missing for a year, just found her body on her property yesterday. Husband has been arrested, and thank God. So this is a case of all cases that I'm probably always going to refer back to and say there are some similarities. This was 2020 at the peak of COVID. This case, peak of COVID is 2020. 2020 is COVID. We're always going to remember that. And how many people were fed up with each other because they were in each other's space. How many people lost their jobs. How many people had to work from home. I mean, it's just absolutely 2020 was just a year. And there was a lot more cases and a lot more crimes that were domestic. Hi, Mom. I'm finally here. Been working too many hours. Love you too, Mom. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, 2020. What a year. All right. Let's go some more and I'll explain it to you as we go through this. But now Lauren's disappeared and her mom has passed.
But he couldn't because his mom was in the bathroom. There's two bathrooms. There's the bathroom, and that's part of the master bedroom. And then there is the common bathroom. My sister was in the common bathroom. Victor was the last person to see my sister in the morning. So I imagine, went in the bathroom, kissed her goodbye, said, have a good day. That's what I understand there. So they had left for work.
Remember, Victor and Jeffrey work for the same company, and they both live in the apartment. So far, this seemed like a relatively normal morning to Jeffrey. No cause for alarm. But later that evening, there would be panic.
Jeffrey had come home from work ahead of Victor and had walked in, went to go into the bathroom, and the bathroom door was locked. So banged on it. Mom, no response. Kept banging on it. Mom, no response.
Lindsay remembers the panicked call from her brother, Jeffrey.
Jeffrey called me and said, oh my God, there's something wrong with Mom. He tried to get into the bathroom a few times, but it was locked. And then he just kept knocking.
So he kicked the door in. And when he kicked the door in, he found his mom laying on the floor in a fetal position. Not very coherent.
All right, so now we're talking about Anne, and we got to remember Anne is Lauren's mom, and Lauren just went missing, and now Anne is in a fetal position. Thank you, JoJo, for gifting the Guilty of Crime membership. I appreciate you. I love you all. Thank you for coming, Rebecca, even though you're late. It doesn't matter. Better late than never. I love you all catching alive with me, and I definitely love when my mom's here because I miss my mom. She's not that far, but I still miss her because, well, we have busy lives, both of us. So I love you, Mom. And Reese is finally better. No more fever. So back to school on a Friday and then 2 days off. All right. So we're all mama bears here. That's one thing I notice about the crime crew is we're all mama bears. And we all want to, the cases I notice the cases that come to me are a lot of children that were neglected or their lives taken or missing people as well. But I like to catch cases when something calls to me or somebody calls to me and there's something that's moving in it is the best time to be able to catch a case. So sometimes I guess it depends on the case and how I see it and the angle that I catch it from and the people that are behind it.
So he called 911.
Anne had been in that bathroom since Jeffrey and Victor had left for work that morning, which was about 9 hours earlier. And the bathroom door had been unlocked at the time. When Jeffrey found his mom, Anne's arms and legs had turned blue. The ambulance arrived within minutes and took her to the hospital.
She was in and out of consciousness. She was very sick. And they determined that she had a urinary tract infection that had gone septic. She was moved into ICU immediately. I had gone to see her, and she was more conscious, but she was living in the past. She recognized me, which was great. But she also, my parents are deceased, and she really thought my parents were coming up to visit her. She recognized Jeffrey. She knew she was in the hospital. She doesn't remember being in the bathroom.
Jeffrey, who was understandably shaken from what had happened, also stayed by his mom's side and was trying to get her to recall what had happened that day. In doing so, Anne said something that surprised Jeffrey, made his ears perk up.
Jeffrey was talking to his mom, talking about the day that she had passed out on the floor. And she had said that she was okay, that she was with Lauren. And he had said, how could you be with Lauren? He goes, you know Lauren's missing, Mom. And she said, yes, I know, I was with Lauren. And he said, but how could you be with Lauren? And he said, do you know where Lauren is? Do you know what happened? And she said, Michael. And he said, who's Michael? Like, who's Michael, Mom?
Jeffrey didn't know if this was the illness, the living in the past confusion.
Yeah, it's so weird. I mean, there's so many names that I've shown you guys a chart before, and it's still hard to keep up with all of the characters in this. And it's not a story. This is real life. So you can see why People News and Dateline and everybody have picked up on this. Man, yeah, I've never heard of UTI getting that bad like that from somebody that I know. So yeah, your niece died of septic UTI, 27. Wow. Sarah Williamson, what's up? It's okay. You're not that late. And if you know the story, you know. And you could also go back and listen. We'll have 7 episodes for you to just hit play on and let them ride. Just like today's episode, we ride for Lauren, and all of you guys have been here for the whole thing. So thank you. You lost your father 2 years ago. He was only in hospital week, but I understand how much stress and thought. Yes. Yes, Petty. Absolutely. And wow, you guys, I didn't even realize that was a thing. Sorry for you all. It takes a toll. Sadie's mama, mine was close to going septic this week. Oh no. Prayers for Sadie's mama. Always prayers for you, Sadie's mama. All right, let's listen to this. I wonder what her mom was talking about.
Or the truth. He tried to press her for more information.
But my sister was, again, she was in and out of being coherent and making sense. And he kept trying to talk to her about Michael after that. And she just didn't remember anything. There was nothing. So then I had tried to bring up Michael different times, and I got nothing from her.
Jeffrey and Aunt Sue asked everyone who they thought Michael could be. They looked through Lauren's friends on Facebook, checked in with her friends, but one named Michael rang a bell. Paul had been talking to a lot of people behind the scenes, people who would talk to him, but not talk to law enforcement.
Nobody knows who this guy Mike is, right? Actually, I have an idea who Michael might be now. I do have an idea who Michael is.
Anne was being monitored in the hospital, and though the infection had cleared, her prognosis was not looking good. She was becoming more agitated and had to be given medicine to calm down.
I had heard from a nurse. She had gotten anxious a couple of times when Victor was there, and I didn't know why.
Aunt Sue was then told that alcohol consumption was a contributing factor to Anne ending up in her current situation.
My sister didn't leave her apartment. Alcohol was brought to her. And at this point, she was so sick, and a lot of it had to do with alcohol. And I was so upset over that. And I was blaming Victor for giving her and putting her in this position, not watching her.
After learning that long-term alcohol consumption had played a role in landing her sister in the hospital, coupled with the news the nurse had told her about Anne becoming agitated when Victor visited, she decided to limit visitors to immediate family only, which excluded Victor, since they were not technically married. And the hospital agreed.
They say plants like me.
Anne's condition, though now worsened more by the onset of pneumonia, had been somewhat stabilized, and the family could now bring part of their attention back to Lauren. On Saturday, October 3rd, the first annual We Ride for Lauren event kicked off, And it was the talk of the town. Wink News was all over the event, broadcasting live.
And today, friends and family have organized a special ride event in hopes of getting answers on where Lauren Dumolo is. Now, the ride will begin here at Big Ten Tavern in Cape Coral.
Today, they're hoping to get some more answers with the Ride for Lauren event at the Big Ten Tavern starting at 9:30.
Paul was especially geared up for the motorcycle ride. He had a custom motorcycle jacket made with Lauren's face on the back and the words, "We Ride for Lauren," encircled around her portrait.
The We Ride for Lauren event was huge. Paul's a motorcycle rider, so that helped a lot because they wanted to support their fellow, bike rider.
Signs with Lauren's missing poster were displayed in almost every.
Man, Paul has been doing this for years. I just did a search right now on YouTube and I put Lauren Dumolo case, and it's like there's so many things out there. There are not a lot of like YouTubers per se that have covered this case, but there are a lot of, it's covered national news rather than YouTube. I don't know if it just got bigger than YouTube and YouTube didn't pick up on it. Complicit did. Wow, I'm looking at this and I have a clip where it came close. They thought they found her. They LCSO actually looked into her dental records to compare them to a body. So, I mean, yeah, I didn't know about this case either. Carrie brought this to me, and I have a picture of the Ride for Lauren thing, and I wish I could play that. It doesn't let me do images other than this while I'm playing that, but yeah, I'm sure there's a lot out there.
Every yard by now, which fueled the purpose for the riders along the way. The Cape Coral Police Department even closed streets for the ride and posted officers along the way so the bikers would have a clear path. Lauren had literally stopped traffic. The community embraced the family and Lauren's story as if it were their own.
We ended up reaching out to as many people as we could to get as many donations as we could to get as much money as we could. We cooked all the food for them. We did a ton of the different raffles and got them quite a bit more sponsorship to be able to get them cool stuff. We did a really nice video. We did it really for their family more than anything because, nice remembrance for her.
You can find that video on our website at complicit-podcast.com if you're interested.
There were probably a good couple hundred people. We raised about $6,000. It was really great. It was really positive. And then we had a nice vigil and played her song. The family spoke. It was very emotional.
Lauren's song is "I'm Coming Home" by Skylar Gray. While the We Ride for Lauren event was in full swing.
I thought they were going to play it for a second. I'm like, YouTube doesn't like songs. Yeah, there is a lot in this case, folks. And I do want you to, if you want to go and after or to next week or just while you're walking, whatever, finish that with Complicit, listen to the last 3 episodes. Carrie says that the damn cops held a press conference saying they found her before they getting dental records. It was not Lauren. It was not cool of them to jump the gun because it wasn't her. Yeah, that's crazy. And YouTube doesn't like a bunch of things, right? And there are a lot of things that it's crazy that I want to cover. And then I come onto YouTube and I'm like, how am I going to cover that without saying that and that and that and that? And see you later, JoJo. Have a good night. Thank you for the membership gifting. And thank you for loving this group, Kirsten Miller. Yeah, this case is going to be special, and I'll cite it for a long time. I cite many cases, and this will be one of them because this is a missing person case that hasn't been solved, but it can be. It definitely can be.
Emotions high, hope in the air. Anne laid in her hospital bed, her health slowly worsening. Remember that visitor access was limited to immediate family only. But while the family was distracted at the event, someone took advantage. Somehow, someone got into Anne's room.
Somehow, some way, somebody got in. A female got in, posed as Lindsay. I don't know how. The woman posed as Lindsay, went in, even said to the nurse that she was her daughter. So some woman was there with my sister on the day of the Ride for Lauren.
By this point, Anne was very sick and incoherent most of the time, so Aunt Sue was never able to learn directly from her sister who the mysterious woman was, nor the intent for her visit. And the hospital staff couldn't recall much either.
The thing is, at that hospital, there were 2 women that would sit there. And if those 2 women were busy doing something, you could just walk right past. And the nurses upstairs, if there was not a nurse sitting there, you could just walk right in.
Paul was concerned. For him, this was too close to home. Again.
Before I even go there, folks, if you don't know this case, it's okay, because you know that Lauren's missing, and there are too many things that I don't believe in coincidences either. And thank you, Petty Mason, for gifting the membership for the Guilty of Crime crew. But you got to remember, after Lauren went missing, a lot of weird things happened during and then after. I mean, her purse was left. Her purse was at the park, and her phone was left at home. And then later, they found her shirt that was perfectly washed out on the beach, and they found some sandals. Like, how does that get there? And how does this happen? What we're about to hear, what happened? Yeah, this part is beyond concerning. That's why I wanted to stop and let you know all of the things. The cadaver dogs hit on the Victor and Gabby van. I mean, how many people could possibly be involved in this? Think about that. Just think about it's a rhetorical question. How many people could be involved in this? Awesome, Petty. Thank you. My birthday gift. I'm a Leo too. Well, happy birthday, Leo, my fellow Leos. You know I love you. You know I love my Leos. We're special. We're a special breed. Aw, thank you for renewing your membership. I appreciate that, and it helps greatly. Yes, great crew. Yeah, I'll leave this up while we play some more, because this is very odd things going on, and I don't believe in coincidences. Whenever something happens, there's a purpose for it.
I told Sue, you go to the detectives or whatever and get the video on who was in there. And she said, well, I called them. They said they have no video. I said, that's bullshit. There's video on every single floor. And they said they didn't know. Nobody signed in, nothing. And they lied. The hospital lied. So I'm telling you, whoever is doing this knows a lot of people.
Anne's health was in rapid decline, and she had started refusing to eat or take her oral medications. Because of this, she was slated to get a feeding tube put in that Monday following the We Ride for Lauren event. Aunt Sue and Jeffrey were planning to be there for the procedure. But while they were en route to the hospital, a nurse called to tell them that Anne had developed a fever.
So I said, can you do me a favor? I said, can you please run a COVID test on her?
And yes, Anne tested positive. Since
no.
none of Anne's family nor the nurses on Anne's floor had tested positive for COVID, Aunt Sue suspected that the mystery woman who had entered her sister's room was, knowingly or not, the source. But of course, there was no way to know for sure. And without the hospital surveillance footage or the police opening an investigation, contact tracing was impossible. Anne was on a
Can you even imagine this happening to you? This is stranger than any story. If I was to read a book, I wouldn't think of all this. And thank you, Adam Drives Helen. Also, Adam Drives Helen has a channel, which is awesome. If you want to just chill, go subscribe to him. I love watching his. We have an RV, and he's all about van life. But then he'll chill out, and we all talk, and it's like a group of cool people just chilling and talking and vibing. So check out Adam Drives Helen. Thank you for the gifted Guilty of Crime membership. And I hope you guys make sure that you hit the subscribe button and put all notifications on, because we do have a lot of big things coming up. Bree, I heard your message, and I'd love to do some collaboration with Jumpsuit. I don't know how that's going to happen, but we'll will it to happen. I don't know if it's going to happen this month, but we will it. Now, collaborations, I'm a little hesitant on after my episode this last week that we covered the Madeline Soto case. My hair is crazy today, y'all. Crazy. It's crazy, and I need to dye it, but I don't have time. So I'm a little hesitant about collaborations just because I never know. But hey, if Papa Ron, Duty Ron collaborates with Jumpsuit Pablo, then by all means, I think Jumpsuit's probably a stand-up guy. I don't know him. Thank you so much, Adam Drives Helen. You are too kind. I love you, and I love that hat. That hat is my travel hat. I took it into the RV, and I've got hat hooks. I've got a whole house in my RV, by the way, Adam. You would be proud of your Auntie J. All right, so I've got a whole house in there, and I've got your hat that you made for me hanging in there. So thank you. All right, Lauren, we love you. We're all here for you. And every week, you guys have been so consistent. You've been so consistent in coming here and supporting and donating not only your time, but memberships, money. Hit the like button, subscribe, share. Jay is crazy and precious. I don't ever understand when people call me crazy or they say I'm a trip. I never understand if that's good or not, but I am a bit crazy. I am a bit crazy. All right. It's just thank you, Lisa, for going to subscribe to Adam Drives Helen. You'll love it over there. And I love you too, Randy. I love you. I love your little South Park pic down there. My brother, Adam Drives Helen, is the best, and so is Jay. Synth, I believe you. All right. Well, I'll chat with you while we listen to this.
Downward trajectory health-wise, but in the end, it was contracting COVID, her weak body unable to fight that virus, that ultimately caused her death on October 15th, 2020.
She passed away 2 days after her 60th birthday, and I was able to hold her.
Can I stop for 1 second and say, fuck COVID? It's kind of like the cancer thing, right? Like, what is up with that? That was the worst 2 years, probably. I mean, I enjoyed myself over that time, but it was just a bad thing, a bad thing, a bad moment in time. COVID, man.
Her hand and say goodbye to her. I told her, I promised her that I would forever be here for her kids and her grandbabies. I would make sure that they remembered her and that I will never stop looking for Lauren and I'll bring Lauren home and that I loved her.
Means there's a commercial.
Plants. So go ahead and.
And did this have anything to do with Lauren?
I called up to the Cape Coral Police Department and said, I think you need to go and see what the hell's going on because something's wrong here. Because when you guys talked to her not too long ago, she was nowhere near death.
To the family's knowledge, Anne's death was not considered suspicious and was not being investigated as such. But Aunt Sue and Paul had been quietly investigating on their own since the beginning of Anne's ordeal. And pretty quickly, they discovered that someone else had been in Anne and Victor's apartment the day she was found. Someone saw her unresponsive in the bathroom. Someone locked the bathroom door and didn't call for help. And that someone was the very same person who claimed to be the last person to see Lauren alive.
The day that she went into the hospital, I called a few of my friends down in Florida. And I said, listen, tomorrow I want you to go to the house and see if either Jeffrey or Victor are there and find out what happened. So two of my friends went there. And the maintenance guy was walking in.
Yes, we do know his name, but we are unable to share it at the moment, since he's still technically an anonymous source for the police. Paul's friends had bumped into the maintenance man as he was leaving Victor and Anne's apartment, and they stopped him to have a chat. He told them he was there to fix a leak in the ceiling. They asked him about Anne, if he had heard anything.
He said, oh, I was here yesterday before she was taken to the hospital. We're like, you were here? Yeah, I was working in the house fixing a leak. As a matter of fact, I was in the room and I didn't even know she was home.
The maintenance man continued to relay what happened the previous day.
So he says, yeah, I went and I had to go to the bathroom, so I used the bathroom. And when I opened the door, she was sitting on the toilet. He said her head was down, her hands were in her lap, and she was unresponsive. So I asked her if she was okay, didn't respond, thought she was praying, locked the bathroom door, and I left.
According to Paul's friends, the maintenance man saw Anne in an unresponsive state and locked the door. Aunt Sue had gone to her sister's apartment while she was in the hospital and found a handwritten note that was left by this same maintenance man.
I have his note that says he would be back to fix the ceiling.
She told the rest of the family about the note. Matt called the apartment building's management company to find out more.
I did call the company that owns the building and they asked them if there was a work order that day. They said no. I asked them, is that common practice for your maintenance men to go into apartments without a work order? They said absolutely not. So I don't know why he was in there. He shouldn't have been in the apartment.
Aunt Sue followed up with the company in person. She wanted to talk to the maintenance man herself. After being gently excused from the office by the manager, she decided she'd have better luck driving around to the back of the building. She waited there to see if the maintenance man would use that entryway.
And that's how I found him, was when I waited in the back. And I confronted him. And first he thought I wanted to talk to him about Lauren, which I thought was very strange. That's the first name he said to me.
She asked him about being in the apartment the day her sister...
How many people do we have now? I mean, if we had a chart with their... I mean, I could imagine what the police records or what their chart looks like on this case, the police file, I should say. I don't think that it's super active right now, but how does Lauren go and disappear and then her shirt turns up being staged all washed out on the beach, at the Four Freedoms Park. And then mom gets COVID and someone goes, or supposedly that's what they said, she had COVID. Then she just goes and someone locks the door and he tells them that he was the last person. So what, I don't understand. Like, and then we've got Victor, we've got Gabby. There's a lot of people in this story, and how many people could it really be? Rhetorical question. JD, Laura, hello, Jay and Ma chat. Happy blessed Thursday. Very blessed. We're all blessed to be here for sure. We're blessed that we woke up today. All right. Most of us are 45 and older. You're like, speak for yourselves, bitch.
Was found in the bathroom.
And he tried to deny he was there. And I said, you can't deny you were there. I said, I have your note that you wrote.
After he did recall being in the apartment, Aunt Sue pressed on.
And then when I said to him, why wouldn't you call a paramedic? He did not know what to say. And then I said, better yet, why don't you call Victor? And he goes, Victor, acting like he doesn't know who Victor is. He knows who Victor is.
Meanwhile, Danny was, at this point, very involved in Lauren's case. So much so that she was even given access to speak with Detective Jones on behalf of Paul, since she was a local and he was back and forth between Cape Coral and California. She had a meeting with Detective Jones while Anne was still in the hospital to get an update on Lauren's case.
When I spoke to Detective Jones during that meeting, he said, we just want to know a lot of things, like what was Lauren wearing that day?
Since the police station was relatively close to Anne and Victor's apartment, Danny decided that after her meeting with Detective Jones, she would see if Victor was home to talk to him more about Anne's situation and see if he recalled anything more about Lauren.
Now, I want to bring something up really quickly. So there's been a lot of activity in this case. And not only activity, but boots on the ground with the family investigating. And when I say the family, particularly Paul, doing investigations, knocking on doors for 3 months when he was there. I wonder what it would take to get the police to look back at their suspects. And now I'm not going to do this because this is my last episode. We're going to give the family their space that they need. But I just am curious and putting it out there to whoever watches this, what it would take. Now, when you hear about something, and what's up, Bren, the J-Man crew. J-Man crew. I'm trying to see how I like that one. All right, so I wonder what it would take, and I just heard about the Matthew Perry case today and J-Ann crew. Okay, thank you. I heard about the Matthew Perry case today, and many people say Matthew Perry did that to himself. When us regular people OD, please don't look into it. They call it an overdose. When somebody like Matthew Perry dies, the queen of, what is the name of that drug that Matthew Perry was taking? Well, she's the queen of it. If somebody knows what I'm talking about with Matthew Perry and him ODing, the queen of that drug was arrested today with 4 other people. So 5 people in total were arrested for providing that to Matthew Perry. Now, ketamine. Thank you, Wolfpack. Thank you. Today, the announcement came out that the queen of ketamine, along with 4 other people that are associated with the doctor's office that Matthew Perry was going to, was selling him vials of ketamine that they got for $12 each. And they were taking those $12 bottles of ketamine and selling it to him for, did they say $5,000? Something like that. I think it was $5,000 and they were buying it for 12. They got the text messages, and the text messages between them were calling Matthew Perry an idiot and saying, I wonder what he'll pay for this. He ended up spending $55,000 in one shot on some vials, and ultimately his death was because of the queen of ketamine and her supply. And not only that, they looked into that, and the queen of ketamine, her supply had killed somebody else recently. So they took down this whole drug ring. If you watch that for Matthew Perry today or this morning, he did do it by himself, but he was going into the office for treatments. And so what I'm saying, I guess my whole point here is that you got Lauren here and all kinds of suspects, and yet there's nothing happening. You got the family doing all this. Now, Matthew Perry did it to himself, but us regular people that do it to ourselves many times just do it to ourselves and they call it OD. But with him, they looked into it and they found the source that was providing it to him, and they found the text messages. Matthew Perry was going into the office and getting ketamine injected into his veins as a treatment for depression and anxiety, folks. And they got him hooked on it. They gave him higher doses than they needed, and then they were selling him high amounts. So he went home and he overdosed himself, but they're being accountable. He didn't have an at-home. He did have an at-home assistant. You're right. I'm sorry. I didn't read that right. His at-home assistant was the queen of ketamine, is what they called her. So very weird. Weird question. Can something like this fall under RICO? Explain, Emma. Explain. Yeah, 20 vials a month. Carrie, I'm glad that you are listening to this too. I was blown away. Now you know that Matthew Perry is Keith Morrison's stepson. So Keith Morrison will probably cover this on Dateline. It's a pretty big case now. And yeah, a lot of people are definitely linking it to Michael Jackson, the tattoo guy, tattoo dentist. I don't know if it was a tattoo dentist, but the nitrous and how many other people are related to this? How many other people do they care about that are related to this? Nobody really cares about that. Yeah, they profited off his addiction. That's what they said in the press conference. That's exactly what they said. That is a lot of ketamine. Lives will be saved, in my opinion, because of it. It's a good thing that they did it. It just makes me sad when I don't say that, Petty. You don't want to try ketamine for depression. No, no, not after hearing this story. Do you really? I mean, I support you, but after hearing this, it scares me to hear that because I mean, that doctor's office took advantage and man, they took advantage of him, and they were talking shit about him, and they knew that he would pay a lot because he didn't want to go on the streets and get it. And they just really, like, if that's gaslighting and stealing and profiting off of someone, man, which I love talking about this stuff, and we're still focused on Lauren Dumolo, but my whole point is about justice for people in general, whether you have money, whether you don't, any justice and all justice. And Matthew Perry thing just came up on my phone, so I thought I'd mention it. My ex tried K with doctor supervision. Unfortunately, did not improve his depression, but it does help many. Yeah, I don't know anything about it. I mean, I just know that that's scary. For $850,000 teeth. Wow. Are you talking about Matthew Perry? It's actually been a good treatment for anxiety, depression, chronic pain, but they gave it to him at levels that were not therapeutic. Right. Just like propofol with Michael Jackson. And they took advantage of him. Absolutely. You don't use those levels, but he was addicted and he wanted to feel that instant gratification all the time, folks. I like myself too much for that. Good job, sweetie. I'm glad. It's controlled in the office. Okay, that's good. His was controlled in the office too, Petty Mason. That was the problem. His was controlled in the office, and they took advantage of him in the office and outside of the office. So I'm a little hesitant about that, but that's what Maya was on, right? In the Take Care of Maya trial. I don't know. You know who knows about the Take Care of Maya trial? The lovely Bree. She was covering that trial with Dr. Joe, so she could answer about the Take Care of Maya trial. I don't like dissociative drugs, and I had to try. It's been helpful. Interesting. Well, there you go. All right. If I think of a way to put it, I'll ask again. I'm sorry. It's okay. I just didn't understand what you're saying. A celebrity can use their status to bring things to life. Absolutely. And that's a good thing. It bothers me that there's so many times that people that don't have a status, nobody cares, right? It kind of sucks. But it's life. It's life. Just like most drugs, it takes more and more to get the same effect you get started. Absolutely. And if you're a celebrity and you get taken advantage of and you're all depressed and you're going to somebody for help, now not a celebrity, anybody. Lauren's health mentally was declining as well. So we are talking about Lauren Dumolo and her being missing for 4 years. Before she went missing, her mental health was declining. Remember, she jumped into the Four Freedoms. I guess it's a river or Four Freedoms at the park in the, I guess it's a river. We showed it. Anyway, she also got what I call 5150'd a couple of times. Lauren said people were chasing her or after her. So mental health declining and being able to trust people and then something happening on top of that is really scary. And I think Lauren was on controlled medication as well. Her controlled medication was for other things she had done. So, I mean, I'm relating, Lauren's case and them not being millionaires to Matthew Perry's case, and somebody's got to be held accountable. But I am glad that they did arrest all these people. And Matthew Perry's fantastic. Let's be real. And so is Lauren. When you see her, she lights up the room. She deserves the same justice that they are doing for him right now. So when we talked about Lauren's case, you hear a lot of things at the beginning of this series about Lauren and her being before used to be an addict, et cetera, et cetera. Matthew Perry was an addict as well. He did say he was sober. And he wasn't sober. You can't be sober and still be taking drugs. And I think once you're an addict, you're always an addict. I don't want to offend anybody, but I think that's technically Wednesday. Ophelia says, I'm sober, off K, thus combo is a lot for me. I'll just say he did all substances in excess. Wow. Okay. Yeah. We don't have to talk about this anymore, but I wanted just for you to know. I couldn't have said it better, Marilyn McRae. Yep, Jay, no one looks at the anonymous. It does suck though, right? Because we could be the anonymous. So together, I think we're stronger. We have a support system with each other. Starzy says her mental health could have been declining too because she was around toxic people. In my opinion, I think Gabby was gaslighting her. Gabby was her fiance / ex. He also was married, folks, and still seeing that woman. As a matter of fact, he took his TV and went to her house. So I think we're stronger as a community together with each other, and we have people that we can rely on, talk about true crime, listen to it together. And I'm here for you all. And I notice you guys are here for each other. I see that you guys communicate behind the scenes. A lot of people communicate with me directly. So I think we're stronger together. And if something like that ever comes up, you could reach out to me or any of us. Jay, probably is something, propofol is something they give you when you're getting surgery. Yeah, I know. And Michael Jackson was beyond rich. So they'd give it to him to put him to sleep, which I wonder what demons he had. Being very honest here, my true crime interest in learning about speech analysis, DD, and others leading me to Jay's channel genuinely helped my depression a lot, being part of something. Yes. Thank you, Sophie. And I agree. I've come to points in my life where I feel like, man, what do I do next? How do I help people? Sometimes, the kids at school and my wife's at work, and I've got these big gaps of time, and I really wanted to do something that would help. Well, I think I am doing something. It gives me a purpose here on Guilty of Crime. And yeah, Marilyn McRae, Gabby is my person of interest as well. Absolutely my person of interest. Is it listed as a drug that can help addiction? I don't know how K is listed right now. I know that it's a fairly new, and when I say new, it could be 4 years in. It doesn't matter if it's new or not, I guess, because Lauren was also on something that was helping her with her addiction. So I don't know. I love this channel community, and so do I. You guys are like a little family. Thank you for being here. Wait, did you say, Jay, about the TV is the wife's house? Wait, did you say? No, listen, sweetie. So Paul showed up to Lauren's house. Okay. Paul showed up to Lauren's house when she was missing, and he came over, and Gabby was there, or he came over, and at some point Gabby came back over and he took the TV and then went to the wife's house. Yeah, so it's at the wife's house. They never looked into that. That is like a computer. It's a piece of evidence that they never looked at. So yes, it was. And we've talked about that. Thank you, Jamie. I think my hair is crazy today. I can't get it right, but whatever. Thank you. All right. Thank you guys for being here again, being present. Okay. Here's a cause. My internet bill needs paying. Well, thank you. And thank you, Naomi. Let's keep listening and we'll chat. But I think that when we relate stuff like that to each other, we relate cases and cite cases, it's helpful to remember the case, the victims, and to relate to knowing our intuition. And like Sophie said earlier, learning body language, learning analysis, statement analysis. You learn all this stuff and you apply it, and then you're confident with saying, you know what? I've seen that case and that case and that case and that case. And I know, in my opinion, that's very strong. I can tell you this, this, and this. So we're all learning here. Do I think Lauren's alive? In my opinion, I do not think that she's alive. I think that after a certain time, it's been over 4 years, I think that I would like for somebody to bring her home, whatever that means, whether it's a body or just knowing what happened, just like the Maya Miliete case, where they have the husband in jail and they're in trial now. So with Maya, I think I have to cover the Maya case because it's in San Diego. It's happening now. I've got some really good information on it, and it just relates to this case. The time frame is very similar. It's right in 2020. Yeah, for Polly's sake, right? Yeah, she does have a daughter. You can see that on the thumbnail at the beginning, and if you go back to all the episodes, I have pictures and stuff of her daughter. All right, it's not physically addictive, but it blocks your MDMA, NDA receptors and hits you with all good neurotransmitters. It can cause dependency. I've never found that to be true, but I'll just say that. I'll just say I'm blessed to naturally be like excited, overly excited all the time. All right, I'm way behind now. I had a call. You're okay. We're just talking about Matthew Perry and how much attention his case got, how much attention Lauren's case got, where it is, how it stopped. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that, but I'll take your word. You thought she did what? Yeah, she does have a daughter. I'm sorry. All right, let's play some more and I'll chat with y'all. Thank you for being here. You guys are donating your time with me. I donate my time. I'm working for Lauren, and I work for Madeline Soto, and I work for Elijah Vu and their family. But of course, I don't get paid. I donate my time, and it makes me feel good to help and to have you guys as a community with me donating your time and likes and shares and whatever else you guys throw my way. So thank you.
And that would be helpful to the case.
When I went to the apartment, there was a man who had just shut the door, and I said, "Hey, is Victor there?" And he just turned around super fast, and he introduced himself as the maintenance man.
Danny knew who he was. Danny then asked him if he knew anything about Anne, and he responded with the same account he had given Paul's friends of what happened that day. But then he continued.
He said to me, "It's crazy. I was the last person to have seen her." He said he didn't really know the tenants or Gabby. He just knew them by face because he fixed things at the apartment.
With Detective Jones' question in mind, Danny asked him if he remembered what Lauren was wearing when he saw her back on June 19th.
He then said she was wearing the same maroon shirt that was found in the park with a white bathing suit cover up over it and was wearing shorts. He said that she had the same purse that was found in the park on her shoulder. He said he thought it was weird that Lauren was swimming in the morning because she typically swam in the afternoon.
So many weird things and people in this story that are just saying things that are, I don't even know, but I hope that a lot of you guys that missed this go back and just, if you're going for a long drive or you're working, just put this podcast on, put the playlist on my playlist, hit play and listen to this story, and you'll really just get into it and put out good vibes, say prayers for Lauren Dumolo, Paul Dumolo, Cassie Dumolo. I don't know if that's still her last name or she's married, but I also wanted to thank Casey Holmquist, or Casey Holmquist Credit. Man, she donated two $20 cash apps to me. So I thanked her here. And then Doreen Pereira, I thanked them on Cash App. But man, thank you, Casey Holmquist, for $40. I appreciate that. She's not in here right now, but if she goes back and watches this, I wanted to thank her. Thank you. I'm not getting my mental meds from the smoke shop. They guinea pig us so much. Right. Well, think about regular people like us that don't have thousands of dollars and where we would have to go or what people turn to when they can't get their meds. The opioid crisis, that's real. The opioid crisis turned everybody to the streets to get their opioids. And guess what the opioids are? H. If you guys know what that means. And then the H turns into Fent. The Fent goes into the H. And man, it's just crazy. Crazy. All right. This all relates. There are a lot of things in this case that have to do with all the things we're talking about.
He knew Lauren because she swam at the pool and saw her.
Danny passed along the information she learned to Detective Jones. Paul, Aunt Sue, Cassie, Lindsay, Matt, Danny, they couldn't get past the coincidence of the maintenance man being the last person to see Lauren and the person who saw Anne in the bathroom on her final day in her apartment. They started looking into his past a bit more, and they found an interesting connection between this maintenance man and Gabby.
They both had lived in Racine, Wisconsin, and they lived within 12 miles of each other.
Remember, when Paul had looked up Gabby's records, he found he lived in and had court records in Racine, Wisconsin. Paul couldn't get over the coincidence of it all.
There was no work order for that. He never was supposed to be there.
I want to ask you real quick before we go, and I'll thank you, Scary Sherry. Thank you so much. Does everyone think kratom is basically an opioid? Because that's a statement. So kratom either is an opioid or it basically is an opioid, or it's not an opioid. It's organic like marijuana. I'm just curious. I hear a lot of people talking about that, and I want to know what you think about kratom. Scary Sherry, thank you so much. You guys, all of you that have donated today, and you donated, and Casey donated, it really does help. I've carved out every day a time from 4 to 6, and then sometimes on the weekends to do this thing with you all. And the cost for all the different things that the services I have to pay for StreamYard and whatever. So that all helps me to not have to come out of my pocket. I appreciate that. I really, truly do. Thank you. All right. Looking at what you guys are saying, interacts with. So Wednesday, Ophelia, I value your opinion a lot. I'm going to say what you say. It interacts with your opioid receptors, not the same thing. Okay. I thought so. They have bars over here in San Francisco. They have a bar, a kratom bar, and you go up to the kratom bar and they make drinks with the kratom and all kinds of stuff. It's pretty cool. I've been in the tattoo industry for 25 years and my back hurts and things like that. And I've taken kratom. I didn't think it was anything like that. It attaches the same receptors that opioids do, so you get the same. No, I've never found that though. But if you had that experience, I never had that experience. All right, kratom national institute druggers. Interesting. All right, interesting. Kratom commonly refers to an herbal substance that can produce opioids. Okay, but it's not the same. It's kind of like it. Solid community here. Thank you. Crystal Burns, thank you so much, Naomi, for the $5 super sticker. I'm glad you guys are here today, man. It's making my day. Yeah, see, I thought that too. Like when I've needed something and I just can't move anymore, and I'm like, you could buy kratom at the store, like alcohol. You could just walk into a smoke shop, even at like 7-Eleven and stuff, will have the kratom pills. I thought it was not like that, and people do say that. I do got mad tattoos, Jamie, all the way everywhere. So yeah, but I also do tattoos, and it hurts my body. And even typing at the desk and stuff, I get knots in my wrist from doing that. So kratom helped me with pillows. Awesome, good. So it's not the same. It's a good alternative, I think, in my opinion. All right. I can't believe it's been an hour. I know. It's been an hour and 15 minutes, and I'm just enjoying speaking with you. This is our last episode of Complicit. So I wanted to make sure I got to talk to this group here. The people that have been here solidly following this case with me, donating your time. Also the crime crew that comes here basically every day and watches me. So thank you. I've never really heard bad things. Yeah, me either. And like I said, in San Francisco, and they have a bar and they do clever things with it. I don't know. Have also experienced anorexia, weight loss, insomnia. Interesting. Well, I've never experienced any of that, but that's bad. That's not good either. But I guess you could say the same about Kay too. And he had to go to the back, got super kratom, and he said he had the same. Wow. All right, let's I can't even see that. Let's keep playing it and I'll chat with you guys. So because Jamie's listening, she's paying attention to the podcast. I saw he thinks that guy kidnapped Lauren.
I don't know. Another coincidence is another coincidence. That same guy is the last one to see my daughter. That day when supposedly she was walking home at 8:15 in the morning. The same guy lived 12 miles away from Gabby in Wisconsin.
Maybe they knew each other, maybe they didn't, but they both ended up in Cape Coral. They're both involved in a missing persons report.
Interesting.
The maintenance man, Michael. More paths the case could take.
I mean, you got so many people.
You got so many
mixed up
scenarios.
But so far, none had led them to Lauren. On the next Complicit, an innocuous event suddenly seems suspect.
I think everything's questionable. Everyone is questionable. Everyone is a suspect.
The evidence doesn't support the account.
I said, let me ask you a question. Where is that video? No answer.
The family wants access to the case file.
We've asked to see the videos. They will not let us see it.
Their determination intensifies.
Somebody out there does know something and will come forward, and we will find Lauren, and we will bring Lauren home.
But where is Lauren Dumolo?
Where is Paul Dumolo is a good question too. All right. So what I can do, since we still have everybody in chat, and I don't know where, and yeah, Rosie, once you have a certain amount of tattoos, it doesn't even matter anymore. It's like the Linkin Park song. It doesn't even matter, because in the end, it doesn't even matter. That song? It really doesn't. You look at that. Could you imagine me getting this lasered off? Like any part of it? It really doesn't matter. All right. So what I'm going to do, there is a nice little like Q&A here that I can play and chat with you guys. That way the less you have to do yourself, because we don't want you having to do work when we're here on my channel right here now. I've heard a lot about Lauren, and we've heard a lot about Paul. Paul has been there the whole time. I've been waiting for he's been there the whole time searching, and that's a lot of effort. Boy, is it a lot. Not just effort. Effort's the wrong word. Who in here has lost a loved one and didn't get closure? If you guys just let me know, kind of chat about that in there when I come back. I'm trying to pull up this, but if you've lost a loved one and didn't get closure, I kind of want to know about it and like where you are. When I say closure, like the person's missing, they've never come back, and whatever that means to you, I don't know.
Hi everyone,
So
Hillary here.
closure to me means that maybe they passed away, you didn't get an answer, or they went missing, you didn't get an answer. I just want to know if the chat has those experiences. Yeah, I feel so bad for. I don't even think it's feel bad for. It's like I have this deep empathy, and I understand, I feel what he's saying, but I haven't gone through it. Synth server, you say me. Danielle says me. Giselle. Randy's got me singing that song. Yeah, I can't even either. I don't want to. Much love to Paul and Bree. So there you go. You understand how that feels. And I guess when it hits you, and it hits people at different times. I mean, you guys have been here listening with me, and as you do, Paul's been on here almost every episode, and that wasn't a requirement or anything. But you know what? It's got to be really taking a toll. I actually want to show you this first because I do have this to share about them finding a body and seeking her dental records. And then what Carrie said, they had a press conference about it and it wasn't even hers. But I shouldn't spoil
98%, I would say, comfortable with saying. I am 98%, I would say, comfortable with saying that it could be her.
Cape Coral police are looking for clues to identify skeletal remains they believe are Lauren Dumolo. The missing Cape Coral woman's dad told us investigators asked for x-rays and dental records in hopes of identifying her body. Those skeletal remains were found in a vacant lot off Pine Island Road in North Fort Myers. NBC2's Megan Myers is talking to Lauren's family, desperate for closure.
Lauren Dumolo's sister says her family has been searching for closure for far too long. The remains found inside of this wooded area, possibly belonging to Lauren, is heartbreaking for her family. But confirmation will bring them some answers.
At least it is a step in a direction of healing.
Cassie Carey says a week ago, law enforcement asked for dental records belonging to her sister Lauren. Last night, they shared the reason why. Human remains matching Lauren's description were discovered in a wooded area off Pine Island Road last week.
Now that we're getting somewhere, it's kind of like this is the next step in that healing process for us.
Carey describes the last year and a half as a roller coaster.
It's been a lot of heartache. You go to bed every night saying, okay, tomorrow's the day, and then you wake up every morning and saying, okay, today is the day.
Cape Coral police strongly believe these remains belong to Lauren, who was 29 when she vanished. Carrie says she's 98% sure these could belong to her sister.
With it being a
Could you imagine that feeling? And I don't want you guys, it's a rhetorical question, but yeah, I had a friend like that. And now you just reminded me that I've had things that have happened too. I mean, I've had things that have happened just last year. A friend of mine, a friend of ours, my wife and I, that have been a friend the whole time, like throughout our relationship, almost 19 years, was my wife's best friend. And you know that house, if you guys know me and you listen to some of the stuff I talk about, I'll talk about the other house that I rent out here. So we're renting this house out and my friend needed work. Our friend needed work. So we said, oh, can you clean out the house for the next tenant to come in? And she's like, yeah, I'll clean it out for the next tenant to come in. I didn't know she was using anything. I knew she liked to drink and stuff, but yeah, the Rainbow House, Bree. So she was cleaning the Rainbow House and she was doing work for us so we can pay her so she can pay rent. And this is about 8 months ago. And she came over when she was done. I said, sit down, let's eat dinner together. So I ordered us all some Chick-fil-A just so we can eat real quick. My friend was here. Reese was here. We all sat down and we ate some Chick-fil-A. The night before that, we couldn't find her. We couldn't find our friend. And we went into the Rainbow House and she was balled up like this on the couch, and we moved her and we were like, she wasn't waking up, and then she did. 2 days later, after we ate Chick-fil-A, she never came back, and we were like, why aren't you answering the phone? They found her body in her bathroom. She had OD'd. So I don't know how I told that story because I was all over the place, but I'm grateful that she didn't OD the night that we found her on the couch, just 2 nights before. I didn't know that she was using anything. I had no idea. I thought she was clean. I mean, I've seen her like party and do party drugs, but I didn't know. And come to find out, she was doing, I think, CM. I won't even mention all the stuff, but yes, this happened about 8 months ago, and it was my wife's best friend and my mutual friend. But the weird thing is that we didn't know she was even on anything, and well, she OD'd in her own bathroom, and thank God it wasn't in our house, in the Rainbow House. I don't know how we would deal with that. You're welcome, Gen X. I just thought of that when I thought about that when you guys started talking. It kind of triggered my thoughts because I'm like, I know I've had sudden losses. But sometimes I just block them out. We didn't even get to go to the funeral because her mom had the funeral and she thought that we got her drugs or something. We had nothing. I didn't even know. We were trying to help her pay her freaking rent. And because she was here the night or 2 nights before, they thought that we had something to do with it or whatever. Yeah. Sorry, Clarence Drew. Prayers for you. And I guess we know how Paul feels in a way. So we all support you, Paul. We love you, Paul. If you're listening, we love you. We support you. And we'll silently be here just giving good vibes to you as we wrap this series up. Yeah, it's crazy. It is. I almost forgot about that. Yeah, it is easy to blame, but we had nothing to do with it at all. Like, if anything, I fed her as she was having trouble, paying her rent, and we were helping her pay her rent. And she's a friend of ours, but we had nothing to do with what she was taking or doing. So nothing on our conscience at all. But it's sad.
Female and being in the 30 to 35-year-old range, and the time that has passed that it's been decomposing, all evidence points to Lauren at this point.
And if they do belong to her,
I like to think that nothing too terrible happened. I like to think that whatever she went through was not painful. That's my biggest hope, is that she didn't feel any pain.
in North Fort Myers, Megan Myers, NBC2.
Investigators are asking dentists in Lee County, Maryland, and Staten Island to reach out if Lauren was one of their patients. A forensic professor we spoke to from FGCU says it is common for investigators to look into dental records when trying to confirm someone's identity.
Let's say there's no DNA, or the DNA is sketchy or been destroyed, then this is a second way to be able to identify the body. If the person's had dental work, that means that there are x-rays which would match up identically to her bite, so to speak, to all her teeth.
Dumolo's dad says she got a tooth extracted about 10 years ago, but he's not sure if it was done in Staten Island or Maryland.
Lauren Dumolo went missing 16 months ago. In fact, this is the last known video of Lauren, June 18th, 2020. She was applying for a job at a Speedway gas station, smiling and laughing. This gas station was just a half-mile away from her apartment on Coronado Parkway. The next day, Lauren's boyfriend, Gabriel, says he went to work while Lauren was asleep in their apartment. Later that morning, maintenance workers say they saw Lauren, but when Gabriel got home, Lauren was gone, and he called her dad. That same day, police say someone found Lauren's purse at 4 Freedoms Park. Lauren often went to the park to meditate. It's a 6-minute walk from her apartment. Now, fast forward 2 days, Lauren's boyfriend reported her missing. Her shirt was found July 2nd along the water at 4 Freedoms Park. Since then, the case went cold.
And if I wanted to end on that, I would be able to just end this whole series on what they just said. Yeah, someone was watching. I could literally just end it. It's crazy. No one. Yeah, there's not funeral. Actually, what's funny is I only go to funerals if I have to out of respect, because I don't like traditional. No one likes funerals, but I'd rather not, because my family's always done cremations, and then they do like a remembering ceremony. And that's what they were going to do for our friend Audra. I'd like to say her name, Audra. Man, Audra had so many tattoos by me too. I was going back through my pictures and looking at the tattoos that I gave her, and I'm like, man, I haven't had a friend that I tattooed on pass away. And it's just really weird, all the different flashes of time that you spent with those people. It is sad when they used to be. I didn't even know she was using like that. She was trying to cope, and her husband had passed away. She lived with us. She lived with us when she met her husband, and I never let anybody live with us, but we let her because she was gonna move to Colorado with her husband. And then she moved to Colorado with her husband, and he was 33 years old and he passed away. She went to work to do a pet sit because she was a pet sitter like my wife used to do. My wife used to pet sit dogs. Yes, Audra, rest in peace. Yes, here's for you. I forget sometimes. I block those things out, I guess. But so she moved all the way to Colorado, packed up all her stuff, and then her husband passed away while she was at a freaking pet sit. She came home and they had already taken the body. So devastated, she moves back to California, and she never got over that. She never recovered from losing her husband that she never thought she was going to have. And I think that's when Audra sealed her fate, man. Man, I really do. I think when Chris died, Audra died. I that's all I could say about that. I'm just thinking of it right now. Yeah, rest in peace, Audra. How my tattooers passed away after. Yeah, I'm glad that he finished, Carrie. But yeah, it's just yeah, I never even I haven't had that experience until recently, and I think that was about 8 months ago, which was the last time we rented out the house. And I find myself wanting to call Audra because she was a part of our life that we'd call her. She'd cut when there was Thanksgiving. She didn't want to be at her family, so she'd come here. When it was Christmas, hey, come get the leftover food. I mean, just, come watch Reese for us. Let's hang out. We're going to a birthday function. Just a big part of our life. And she's not here anymore, so it's crazy. I forget about that. Can't remember it all. All right, let's listen to the human remains being found, and then I have a quick Q&A. Oh, it's about 15 minutes when we play them fast. We have a question and answer with Paul that should answer your questions on what he's done, why, and then that will let you know. I don't think he's going to come on here today, to be honest. I know that he wanted to, and he wanted to tell you all, but I didn't even really want him to have to tell you that it's taking a toll. And that's why we're not finishing the series, because I don't want to push the family. I don't want to push Paul. He's a great guy. He was insistent on doing this episode today, and he hasn't showed up. So we'll play the Q&A, and then after that we'll be done. But yeah, my mom knew Audra. Audra was so beautiful, and she evolved over time. I mean, we saw her sprout into this woman that got married and had to deal with this stuff. And man, all right, yeah, bless Paul and his family. Let's listen to this. This has got to be hard too. It's quick, 40 seconds.
Found along Pine Island Road in North Fort Myers do not belong to missing Cape Coral mother Lauren Dumolo. The Lee County Sheriff's Office and Cape Coral Police Department held a news conference yesterday about the remains and said this.
We believe that there's a good possibility that these skeletal remains are that of Lauren's.
We know now for sure they are not Lauren's. Cape Coral Police Chief released a statement saying in part, quote, while this is a setback in the quest for closure for Lauren's family, hope remains that Lauren is still out there. We spoke to Lauren's father yesterday. He was also convinced the remains were his daughter. We've reached out to the Dumolo family tonight, but have not heard back.
Yes, big hugs. All right.
We are learning.
And you know what? We'll actually see what happens with that. And according to Paul, and I'm wondering if what he's going to say in this, because I actually have not heard this. It's a Q&A with Paul on Complicit that we'll finish chatting with, and we'll sit because we're still talking and chatting, and I don't want to end this series without doing the proper things and saying the proper things. With this, I think we'll give a proper ending with Paul's commentary, because that's what we were waiting for, is him to come. I actually did not have an episode planned. Everybody, I did not have an episode planned at all today, because I thought I was going to come on, show a clip of Lauren, and then bring Paul on to explain. But he doesn't owe us that. And the reason that we're not doing it is because it is taking a toll. And he Doesn't need that. So he was going to come on and tell you. I'm going to tell you for him. And that's what we'll do. Prayers for Paul, right? All right, let me play this because my son's calling me too.
Yes. Miracle Grow is simply the best.
Nearly 1 year after her mother disappeared, Lauren Dumolo was last seen in Cape Coral dropping off an application at a gas station last June. And since then, there has been no sign of her.
Where is Lauren Dumolo? I'm Hillary Wadsworth. And I'm Caitlin Body. And you're listening to Complicit. Today is June 19th, 2021. As of today, it's been 1 year since Lauren disappeared. But as Cassie stated in a recent Facebook post, the nightmare, in retrospect, started on June 1st, 2020, the day Lauren's paranoia and erratic behavior led to her first Baker Act hold. It's been an extremely trying and tumultuous year for Lauren's family and friends, and a frustrating year for Cape Coral law enforcement, too. Remember, Detective Jones has never not found a missing person. As Lauren's case has gained more attention, and as more people begin to understand the bigger picture surrounding her disappearance, it's not surprising that many of you have had questions, and we thank all who wrote in with questions about this case. Behind the scenes, we are still gaining insight into what happened to Lauren, and in the next episode, we will pick up the story. But
I'm not muted. I wasn't muted, folks. I was talking to my son, and I was talking to him, and I just wanted to not miss his call. So yeah, thank you. I did have something to play, so I didn't want you to think I was muted. And I think I'm a dope mama too. I always thought we were the cool moms. So no, we do not have a video. We've seen Paul a bunch of times, and we're bringing Complicit. What we did with the 7 episodes the whole time was bring Complicit to life by bringing Paul on, showing you video, showing you images. But this Q&A doesn't have video. It just has me, my face, while we play the rest of this. Now, we've had Paul a ton of times, almost every episode, and it's taking a toll. So the reason he didn't show up, I guess, is because it's taken a toll, like he said, and that's why we're stopping the series. So thank you, Marilyn. Thank you. And he's a fantastic guy. He is. He really, truly is. So I want to hear what he has to say in this Q&A, and then that will wrap up the series. We did 7 episodes, around 2 hours apiece. That's 14 hours that you guys dedicated with me to Lauren and her family. We did good.
First, today we're joined by Paul Dumolo, Lauren's dad, to answer some of the questions we received from you, our listeners. It's important to remember that Lauren's case is still open and still unsolved, so some of Paul's answers are conjecture and from his perspective only. These questions are in no particular order and will only make sense if you've already listened to the previous 7 episodes of Complicit. So if you haven't, we recommend you listen to the story first. So, Paul, we got a lot of questions in from listeners who want some more information about topics we've covered on the podcast and details that maybe they want some more explanations on. So let's start getting your perspective on things. Does anyone think the claim that Lauren was put in the Gulf of Mexico is just a distraction to get the local land searches to stop?
Yeah, I would think so. I would think it's all misinformation that's being put out there. It could be this, it could be that, it could be that, because they want to stick them in all different, people looking in all different directions instead of looking exactly where it is.
While Anne was in and out of consciousness in the hospital, she told Jeffrey, Lauren's brother, that Michael took Lauren. Who do you believe Michael is?
Good question. I'm still not sure who Michael is 110%.
So this is a really good one. Then I did not listen to this Q&A. I think this is good to go over this without Paul being here, to let us hear his thoughts as they filmed this. And Wednesday, can you drop in the chat how old you are? I'm curious how much older I am than you. Yeah, Paul does drive a truck, but he knew that we were having this today, and it's okay. It's all right. I gave him the option to just put a community post up and say, hey, we're going to end this thing. It's all right. He truly was able to get feelings off his chest, and now he's feeling different emotion than before and learning to cope in a new way. Hugs and prayers for Paul. I couldn't have said that any better, Emma Joy. Thank you for helping me fill in the gaps. I've been trying to come up with words since I've talked to him, and those were the perfect words. So thank you. Thank you all for being here. Yes, I'm the older sister Wednesday. I'm 45, so I will be your 10-year older sister. Hello, Plant Lady and Rosie 60 on October 4th. You are a Libra. All right, let's listen to Paul. That's interesting because he's going to give us his input, and it will wrap this up of kind of where we were. Lauren is still missing, folks, and with the stories that we heard, well, she's still missing, but there are a lot of suspects. And who's Michael? Thank you. We're all sending our love to Paul, since he's the person that's been doing this for the longest.
But a few months ago, I got a phone call on Messenger. Somebody said there was this guy, and he lived next door to him, and he's in Cape Coral. And he said, this guy, I lived there for 2 years. He's been my next door neighbor. And we both were in the same business. We were in construction. He goes, he quit his job, he told me, and he said he started selling drugs again because he wasn't making enough money. And then he said, he knew two of the guys that was involved in my daughter's disappearance, to this other gentleman. And he said, the gentleman said to him, well, did you call up, the police and Crime Stoppers? There's a reward. The guy said, you know what? For the amount of money, what the reward was, if it was more, I would have, but I make more money off of these two guys in a week than what that reward is for Lauren. So, I'd be cutting my own throat if I turned him in. And his name was Mike. I'm not going to give you his last name right now. I know it. I know where he lives. I know who he is. I have pictures of him. I know all about him, and his name is Mike. The only Mike that's popped up so far.
Regarding the mystery woman who posed as Lindsay and visited Anne in the hospital, has anyone confronted the hospital where Lauren's mom was admitted and asked how a person was able to get into the hospital disguised? And if they were not family related, are there any updates on who that person was or what their intentions were?
No updates. Have no idea what the intentions were. And from the response that people have gotten, family members have gotten, supposedly there was no cameras. Nobody had to sign in, which to me, and once again, I know the hospital's got cameras. There's cameras on the front door. There's usually cameras on every single floor.
What other searches have police done besides the Four Freedoms Park and cadaver dog search?
Don't know, because they don't really tell me a lot. And they keep a lot from me, Every time I talk to them now, I get the same thing. There's nothing new. Nothing new. Nothing new.
So that leads into the next question. Is this considered a cold case? And if not, when? And will you be able to get access?
That's actually a really good question. I've asked that before to Paul, and he was very insistent that it was not a cold case. My mom says she'll be your cool mom, Ophelia, Wednesday Ophelia. And my mom is the cool mom, too. So we were always at my house with all the friends at my house, throwing the parties at my house. It's better to keep us at home than to have us out in the streets. So yeah, that was the place to be, was my house. All right, Wednesday and Jay are sisters now. Yay. Wednesday, you're my sister. You're my younger sister. I'm Auntie Jay in another chat. So hey, why not? All right, so back to this. I'm just having fun with you all in this group, because as this series ends, our little group, our fun little group that we're hanging on to, is probably not going to be as small. Most of my cases have about 200 people in chat. The bigger cases that I've been covering, anywhere from 170 to 200, and it goes a lot quicker. So yeah, Auntie Chai, more appropriate. You're Adam's uncle. I think I was somebody's uncle at some point. Yeah, it's crazy. Wednesday, you guys. Storm Caddy, what's up? You are very late.
Access to the case file.
Wait, is this a cold case?
File at that point.
I don't know how or when they consider something a cold case, or how long a period of time has to go through. Seems to me that, the media is still involved with this. The community is still involved with this. This is, to me, is just an unsolved case at this point still, which to me, I still, like I said, that really baffles me, because as far as I'm concerned, this should be solved.
A soft case.
Have the police looked more into the maintenance man?
I can't get answers on that question. I even asked them if they even spoke. I mean, once again, this is the guy's.
So I slowed it to normal because Paul does talk really fast, and then it's hard to hear him. So yeah, Sadie's mommy, you could be my sister. Absolutely. And so he called it a soft case, and this was 4 years ago. Keep this in mind. So imagine how many things have happened since then. A lot.
supposedly that was one of the last or the last person to see Lauren. He was in an apartment that he shouldn't have been in. And then the mother winds up in the hospital and dies. He's the last one to see her. He also, I believe, knew, Gabby from years ago when they both lived only, 10 or 12 miles apart in Wisconsin. I don't think that's much of a coincidence,
What's the deal with the grandma who has custody? Can you share more information about that?
When I was down in Florida for months, she wouldn't let me speak to my granddaughter. And she made up an excuse saying, well, she knows nothing about what's going on with Lauren. And I said, well, what do you think I'm going to say? Anything to her about her mom? I said, that's, we're all adults here. I said, it's my granddaughter. I would like to come down and see her. I haven't seen her and I would like to talk with her and see her. She would not answer my calls. She does not answer Cassie's call. She's not, the child's mother. She's the grandmother. She got guardianship and that's it. Why she's treating me this way or Cassie this way, I don't know.
Was he ever a suspect? The father?
I know that supposedly, from what I understand from Cape Coral Police Department, they went down and spoke with the mother. She lives in a garden in a gated area, and she told him that he wasn't there. But did he actually speak to him? I have no idea. Good question.
Is there any connection between the woman who overdosed at Carl's house and Lauren? Did they know each other?
Honestly, don't know. I had spoken with her father down in Florida. He contacted me, and he's not happy with these people.
Damn commercials.
Besides the notebook, did you find any other clues at Lauren's apartment?
I tore that place apart with, her sisters, and no, nothing. I found at one time Gabby had a gun because I found, receipts for it and everything else in his name. And this is a guy that, was.
Hey, what happened?
Been arrested, has had domestic violence charges, has had restraining orders, showed the, paperwork and gave it to Maloney. And he's, oh yeah, we knew about that already.
Do Gabby and Carl know each other?
I'm sure they finally knew about each other, especially after the abortion. So I would have to say yes, because not just that, Gabby worked with his girlfriend at Perkins along with Lauren, Gina, years before that. The three of them worked together at Perkins.
Was Gabby ever questioned by police about the domestic violence incident on May 22nd?
I don't know about that. I know he was questioned. What was the actual questions? Don't know. I gave them.
All right. And surprise, y'all. Hello, Papa Paul. How you doing?
Hey, Jay. How are you?
I'm good. You having a good day? You look good today.
Long ass day. I should have been done a long time ago, but unfortunately, I just finished about 5 minutes ago. But that's all right.
That's all right. We were just wrapping up here, and we usually keep about our 2 hours. So everybody says hi, Paul.
Hi, everybody, and I would like to tell everybody. Can I take a minute?
Yeah. Can you? I gotta. Can you turn your volume up a little? But we want to see your face.
Is that better? Well, let me put my headphones on, one or the other.
That's good. Whatever you want. I just want to hear you.
Okay now?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, I just wanted to tell everybody in there, I thank all of you so very much for everything, all the support. Everything everybody wants to do and everything, everybody's been trying to do and wants to accomplish with my daughter's case. But, I got to be honest with you, I've been doing this for 4 years, nonstop, and it's not just this podcast. It's been many podcasts, and it's not just podcasts. It's, what goes through my mind every single day for 4 years. And I finally have come to, I don't know, a resolution, I guess, within myself, or I can't keep doing this like this and going on like this for the rest of my life. I would love to get to the bottom of all this, but the fact of the matter is, it's been 4 years. Everybody knows that, who's been involved with this, Gabby, because of the dogs and everybody, and nothing has come of that, and nothing is ever going to. You know, if it was going to, it would have by now. You know, my daughter's gone, and even let's say by some small miracle, some type of evidence, or somebody came forward, or somebody had a conscience and said, you know, this is what happened. I feel terrible. I can't live with myself. I did it. You know, that would have to be like, a fucking miracle, which, I'm not expecting to happen, and even if so, it's not going to bring my daughter back.
Right.
I've come and I've resigned to the fact a long time ago my daughter's gone. And, at this point, I mean, there's basically, bones, if that's even available, So I think
it's not your job.
I talked it over. And here's another thing. I have other children, and I haven't, I've neglected them in the last 4 years because of my own internal, you want to call it an obsession, because that's what it was. You want to call it whatever you want. I was just on a mission. That was it. But I'm tired, man. I'm just tired. I want to be able to sleep an entire night through once, because I haven't for years. Because I'll wake up
and you should
2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock, whatever. And what's the first thing on my mind? This, this.
Right.
And I get it.
But you know what? It's not your job. You were a good dad. You're still a good dad. You have kids, and you're not a police officer or detective or none of the other things. It's not your job to do. It's not your job. You did what you could. And
not that it was my job.
Nope, he popped off. Let's see if he gets back on. Oh yeah, it is okay. It is okay, Paul. I don't know if you could hear us or you're going to come back on, but yeah, I think none of us could imagine. That's all I can say. I don't want to imagine that for a second. Right? Where'd you go, Paul? Yeah, definitely hugs for Paul. Prayers, everybody. I would give him a big hug right now too if I could. And we'll definitely still talk. I don't really talk to him about the case. Hold on, let me remove this one and I'll bring this one back on. Add the stage. All right, there you go.
So anyway, all that I guess because I made a promise to my daughter from day one. I wouldn't stop until I find out what happened. Well, I did find out what happened, and everybody knows what happened. The cadaver dogs proved what happened.
Right.
An arrest at this point, like I said, it's not going to bring my daughter back. Do I expect one? No. And all of these people that want to help, and I love you all so much for that. But I don't think anything is going to come of it because there's no evidence left. There's nothing left. You're talking 4 years ago, and whatever evidence they had wasn't enough, obviously, to make an arrest, or that
right.
was, and like I said, the only way that this, somebody's going to actually do anything is if they confess. I think at this point, which, like I said, I'm not going to hold my breath. I can't. I need to spend.
And you shouldn't.
I need to spend time with my other, my other kids too, and I need to be me again because, I wasn't me for 4 years.
Right. And I'm here. You know that when we talk, I don't even really talk to you about the case, which is funny. When we talk about other stuff, right? We talk about higher levels. And
here's the thing. I'm going to be honest with you. The thoughts that were going through my mind weren't good. And that's not going to do that puts me basically in the same exact category as the people that did this to my daughter. Because no matter, I'll tell you why. And this is what I've been wrestling with. And I finally come to an understanding within myself. And this was the biggest thing, was it doesn't just affect that person. It affects other, their brothers, their sisters, or my, you know what I'm saying? Way more than just that one. It's not about that one person. And even in the same scenario, that's still not going to bring my daughter back. So is it really going to make me feel any better? You know, an eye for an eye type of thing? I don't think so.
No,
I don't
you
think
know
so.
better.
You know what I believe in? I believe when it's my time, I'll see my daughter again. And if I do something like that or did something like that, I'll never see her again. And I'm not willing to take that away from myself or my daughter.
So you're in a better place to come to that realization, because when you and I talk about all positive stuff all the time. Like
all the time.
We're like big kids. We're like talking about this and that and this and that and the level of conscious and high. And a lot of people don't get the stuff that you and I talk about. I enjoy talking to you.
But you know what? Here's the thing. It's not that I'm quitting. It's that I'm just resolving to the fact that I need to move forward. I think my daughter would want me to do that. I don't think she would wants me to be the way I've been for 4 years, to be quite honest with you. You know, I laugh, I put on a face that, you know, I'm blah, blah, blah. But when I'm by myself, which I'm a lot because I'm in a truck, you know, and besides my dog, I mean, you know, talking to, you know, you guys and kids, you know, you can come up with some really, you know, pretty wild scenarios in your head, man. You know, and I wouldn't even repeat what went through my head. You know, it fucking me, to be honest with you. You know, really. You know, but I'm not. First of all, I'm not that type of person.
Right.
But when it's your child, and you know, you're the dad, and especially when it's a daughter, you know, you're supposed to be the one to protect that child, and you know, make sure nothing bad ever happens to any of them.
And you did.
That's always my role, you know.
You've done your what you can do, and I'm glad you come to the resolution though, because we don't need to talk about that anymore. I mean, we don't even really talk.
I would also like to clarify a few other things. You know,
sure.
I said a lot of bad things at the time. I'm not saying on here, but maybe I don't remember what I said on here. But I'll be honest with you. I mean, it wasn't like I was hiding it. But Detective Jones, I remember telling him right to his face one time. You know, I asked him, "You're dirty? Are you dirty, man?" You know, and other cops, you know, Steve Cragen, you know. And the fact of the matter is, you know what? I think they did the best that they could. And actually, I'm apologizing to them again now. I actually did apologize in person to, you know, Jones and, you know, Cragen, but they, you know, they put a lot of work and they put a lot of time. And the reason I was acting the way I was because it was out of pain and frustration. Because every time I thought, oh, this is it, and it wasn't, it made me freaking crazy.
Right. And you have to have someone to take it out on. We all do.
Yeah. And you know what? But it wasn't right. You know, I think, you know, the man hours that they have put into this, the time, I mean, I think they did the best they could. I think, you know, it was unfortunate the way this turned out. I'm sure that if something ever came up and they did get something, they would, you know, follow up on it. But, you know, it's a small police department, you know, first of all.
Right.
And second of all, I mean, it was during the height of COVID, so they weren't completely staffed when this happened either. And it's just, you know, it just seems, for whatever reason, you know, people, you know, will say like, you know, everything happens for a reason. I don't know what the reason was, actually. I mean, I have an idea why, you know, Gabby did whatever they did, but you know, I don't need to know that anymore. Oh, I know, I have enough to know that whoever did it, when it's their time and stand in front of there and they're ready for their judgment, they'll get handled there, you know, way worse than I could ever do here.
Right.
You know, and I can
agree
live
with
my
you.
life, and I can live my life and go to sleep and wake up and look at myself, you know, with a good conscience, you know, that I did the right thing.
Just let them do their job. Let them work it through. You never know what's going to happen. But in the meantime, you should be like hanging out with us and instead of talking about this. Yeah. You know what I'm saying. We don't have to. I don't even barely talk to you about the case unless you're on here.
Yeah, I just, I know, because what was really bothering me was all of these people want to do all of these things and all these things and all these things. And everything that they want to do, I pretty much have done. And I've used every resource. And I really, in my heart of hearts, I don't think there's anything, like I said, left to really be done that's going to solve my daughter's case, because there is no evidence. And if my daughter, was hot shotted, which I believe that's in my own personal belief, I think happened to her, that she was hot shotted. How do you prove that? You know how hard it is? You can't. You can't. Especially at this point in time, you definitely can't.
Yeah, and if that day ever does come, you might as well. I mean, not might as well. It's better to come to terms with yourself. If that day ever does come, you're going to be in court all the time because
I almost don't even want that, because then I got to start this all over again.
Exactly. So that's why I'm saying you might.
Selfish. It feels like to me on my behalf.
It's not though. Live a peaceful life until it's not peaceful. All of us. I could not wake up tomorrow. Any of us.
Right, but here's the thing. You know what? I'd be afraid to see them because I know me. And that little freaking, piece of wood and that little gate, and I'm sitting right behind that, ain't gonna stop me from jumping over it. There's no barbed wire. It's not a 6-foot fence. You know what I'm saying?
I do it.
I don't.
It's scary.
It is scary. I know who I am as far as where this is concerned, and I don't want to be like that. I don't. Like, remember I told you I watched that video about this guy, and he forgave this kid for killing his son. I don't think I would ever get to that point, but it definitely changed the way I saw things and viewed things.
Right.
I mean, that man's way much better man than I could ever be. God bless him. Because that's pretty much like what I think we're here for. We're supposed to love each other. We're not supposed to hurt each other and kill each other and discriminate against each other and all of this. I don't believe in any of that. But God, I don't know how that man can do that. And not only did he say, but he also said that his son would have forgiven him also, and has forgiven him, which just
I've seen that.
Yeah,
I've seen that many times.
And you know what? God, man, that's amazing to me.
Brian Koberger case. Brian Koberger's one of the 4 kids. The Ethan has a twin, and they went and planted a sunflower field, and the mom and the dad are so rosy and happy, and it's God. They're God people. I don't know how to say that. They're religious people.
Religious people. See, I'm not religious. I'm spiritual. It's different.
You're spiritual, but you're being spiritual by being higher than that and not wanting to come to that. So, I mean, you're just reconciling your feelings, and we all are here. We're glad to have you on here to be able to talk about this, though.
Yeah,
you didn't have to come, though.
I didn't, as far as I'm concerned, I owed all the viewers and all these people and the people that have reached out and the people that want to help and the people that have, I'm a stranger, and all of you, just, took me in like, I was one of yours, and.
And you still are. You don't owe us anything.
But you know what? That and it's funny because even in Cape Coral, all these people that I was a stranger. My daughter showed up, for my daughter, for me, because my daughter was missing, and it kind of brings you back to you start having faith in people again and humanity again, because this world is just such a freaking mess, and
right.
That's actually really nice to see all of that and feel all that. That's the way it's supposed to be, So, if they had time and take the time every week to come here and take time to talk to me and or email me about things and what, can I help? I'm doing this or I'm going to do that and that just blows my mind, man. Really,
well, you're still ours. You are still ours, Paul. Lisa's right. You're still ours, and we don't have to talk about this any more. When you're done, like I mean, some people.
I'm not done with your podcast. I'm just done with. I need to just let it
No,
go.
you do.
I
I agree.
I'm mentally exhausted. It's been 4 years. I've been living in hell. Really.
I mean, I'm kind of glad that you came to that realization with us. I would rather have you come to it before, but I'm glad that we can help to bring you to that place.
A lot of the realization was that I haven't taken the time, to pay the attention my other children deserve either.
And yourself.
They understand. It's not like they said anything, or they get it. They know who I am and they understand. But as the way I feel is, then it's not fair to them. They're still here. I talk to my daughter every day, even though she's not here. Stop it, Blade. My dog is trying to shoot my feet. He's crazy.
He's like, look at him. I want to see him. He's like, Dad, take me for a walk, Dad. Come on, Dad.
Hey, he wants me to play with him. See, every time I talk on the phone, this is what he does. It doesn't matter who it is.
Hey,
yeah,
that's what my daughter does to me. But why don't you go hang out with the dog?
I don't want to hang out with my dog. I'm with my dog 24/7. I need to talk to a person.
Well, we love you, and you're still ours, and you and I have much more conversation than about the case. So
I love all you guys.
I'm here.
I just wanted to be the one to tell everybody and thank everybody, and I hope I'm not letting any of you down, or
no, not at all.
That's not my intention whatsoever.
You're not letting anybody down.
You know what? There are people out there, and this is the truth, that there are cases that can be solved, I think. And there are people that are missing that can be found. It's just not my daughter.
Not right now. It doesn't mean ever, but it doesn't mean that we have to be the ones to do it either. In my opinion.
What? I don't know. I don't think my daughter was ever going to be found, to be honest with you. I think she would have been found by now. That's my opinion. If she does, I'll be amazed, and you'll all be the first to know about it. But I don't see that happening. I just don't, don't.
Well, in the meantime, or if it never happens, at least you can reconcile with it. And
it's almost like there was a 10-ton weight lifted off my shoulders.
Well, that's the best thing that we could have done, because I don't think we were gonna do the job. I wanted to bring this story out, but I didn't think I was gonna solve it.
Nobody's job to do that. It was mine doing.
No, it wasn't your
one's job to get me to this place. It was my job to do that. I mean, nobody did this to me. I did this, and it wasn't that I did it to me. I just took it on.
Yeah.
I just took it on. That's all. And I'm just tired, man. I'm tired of being tired. I have never grieved for my daughter. Never.
Well, now you can. Now you will. I mean,
maybe. And same with my daughter Cassie. She never grieved because we never got close. But there's got to be time when there is closure.
Right. Yeah, because you can't. I mean, even if it's those dang cases where 30 years later, whatever, I mean, you're not going to wait for that. You don't even have. I mean, I don't even have 30 years left.
You don't know if we got tomorrow, let alone 30 years.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Yes, everybody is definitely sending love to you, and Melly, Melly, and Sweetie's here. Mary Clark told me to send her love. She's with her daughter today for 10 days. So I mean, that's what we got to do, is spend time with the people that are here, and yourself. You got to be there for yourself, man.
I was a pretty tough guy, growing up, and I'm still, I am who I am, I'm just,
yeah.
I don't mean tough like, that. I mean, mentally, mind, my mind, tough, where I could pretty much get through anything. You better get off me, dude. So but I can't, it's taking its toll on me, it's just, I just can't. I can't. I need to be able to close my eyes, go to sleep, and actually wake up the next morning without waking up 2 or 3 times every night. And with horrible thoughts in my head, I can't. I just can't continue. I just can't.
Well,
I don't want to.
when is your birthday, Paul? Someone asked, what's your sign? Are you a
I'm
Taurus
a,
or?
I'm a Libra. September.
Oh my goodness, Libra. Hey,
Yeah.
Libras, y'all should be happy.
What? It doesn't work. You know what? And this is something I wanted to tell everybody, which I don't really talk about. I lost an 8-year-old stepson to cancer. He would have been 21 this year. He was 8 years old at the time when this happened. And within a 6-month period, I watched him die. A year later, his brother, my other stepson, Joey, was at a party. And these kids were coming to fight one of his friends because one of the friends was going out with one of these other guys' ex-girlfriend. Well, Joey was like, this kid was such an amazing, amazing kid. He was, the nicest guy in the world, funny, just compassionate, and loved everybody. And he went out there, guys, look, please, let's not fight. Why don't you just come in and da-da-da, we could, and some dude beat him over the head with a pipe. Split his skull, he was in a coma, in an induced coma. They had to remove half of his skull. And I had to help for almost close to a year. He had to learn how to talk again. He had to learn how to walk again. He had no sense of smell, no sense of taste. He never knew when he was full. We actually had to put a lock on the refrigerator and freezer because you go to bed, you wake up, there'd be nothing left. And
that's, what? That happened to my cousin, and he hung himself, and after that, same thing. He didn't pass, but now, he just eats himself stupid, and you gotta keep an eye on him. If kids are around him, he takes their food, goes in the fridge. Like, it's a brain thing, right?
Yeah.
You have to spray.
Frontal lobe, traumatic brain injury. Yeah. So, to make a long story short, he's not anywhere near to being the person that I knew or anybody else knew. He's so my ex-wife lost 2 children within a year, and I lost 2 stepkids in a year.
And then you lost her too. You also lost your ex-wife right after. Not funny, but not,
Is then Lauren, I lost Lauren. Then my first ex, her mother, who I didn't talk to or see for 20 years, but we knew each other. She died. 4 days later, Joey and Travis's, my stepkids, she died 4 days later. And I didn't see her for I don't know how many years, but and it's holy shit,
that is a lot. And COVID, or I'm just gonna say 2020, because COVID and 2020 coincide, and then Lauren going missing in 2020 and COVID and all the shit that happened hit you in one thing. And I could understand just compartmentalizing everything and moving forward.
I can see, adults is one thing, but to lose 3 kids, basically, that's a lot.
It is a lot.
Right with Travis, he had an earache, and we brought him to the doctor, and they gave him an antibiotic. They said he had an inner ear infection, but it didn't clear it. A stronger antibiotic, that didn't clear it up. They sent us to the hospital to put tubes in his ears to drain it, and the doctor did the tubes, and then he called us into the office, and my wife at the time, he said, we cut into his right ear, and we got fluid out. And then he put his hand on her shoulder, and I was like, uh-oh. That's the first thing that came to my mind. And then he said, we cut into his left ear, and we got this granular stuff, and we need to get it biopsied. Well, she basically fell to her knees, and within 2 weeks, we got the results. And I'll never forget this word, and I've never heard it before. But it's one of the worst fucking words I've ever heard. It still affects me. Rhabdomyosarcoma. And that's like the worst childhood cancer you could ever get. Most kids that live, limbs, but he wound up having a tumor in his sinus, which was causing his ear problem, but it metastasized to his lungs. And this boy, Travis, I swear to God, he would always sleep in bed with us. And I was like, and I'd bring him back to his bed. I was like, Trav, what are you afraid of? And this is what he would tell me, I swear to God. Everything. I swear to God.
Aww.
Dude, it's fine. It's cool, man.
Aww.
And but this kid, between getting a central line and spinal taps and MRI. I mean, he wasn't afraid of none of it. And I mean, that's everything that he should have been afraid of. He wasn't. Yep. And then it comes to where he needed radiation for 6 days a week, 5 days a week for 6 weeks. And then back then, what was it? I don't know, 14 years ago or something. They actually make a mask because they had to bolt his head down to a table, stick him in a room where they'll close this door and radiate it and watch him through a monitor. He laid there like it was nobody's business. But the radiation at the same time was killing gray matter. So within 2 weeks after radiation, 6 months from his diagnosis, Travis passed away. And that was a little boy,
Right.
Boy.
Yeah, that's rough, man.
That's fucking horrible. What was even worse was being on a cancer ward and looking at all of these children and all of these parents. And there was this one parent, this is her third son dying of cancer that was there. I'm like, holy crap, third? I can't deal with one. And
Well, I know, and that's where some people find. Although I can't hear you, I couldn't hear you.
I said, this is the only time. That was the only time I ever went into like a chapel and actually asked God for the first time ever, whatever you do, don't take this little boy. And I'll do whatever you ask. And he fucking took him anyway. And from that time on, I just was pissed, man. That's why I became spiritual. Fuck religion,
I'm with you.
I meant it. Whatever he asked of me, I would have done. And he didn't answer me, man. And that little boy died, and he never should have.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Well,
I mean,
like I said, I had enough, man.
And I'm here with you. Like I said, we still talk, but we don't need to talk about this. Let's talk about happy stuff. I want to hear about your guitar playing and wherever you're going and see your dog and whatever,
I want to give you my dog. I don't want you to see it. I want you to.
I can't have a dog like that. I have 3 little yappers.
I love my dog. It's a love-hate relationship. I love when he's good and I hate when he's bad. Look.
No,
I got the pillow. He chewed it already. That's what I.
Oh man.
Something nice is like fuck you.
Sophie says I'll have him. No, trust me, we all say that, and then we don't want to get rid of our dogs. And Carrie doesn't even have hers anymore. I have 3 bad little fuckers. You know what? I stepped in shit twice this morning. I have glasses. Like gross shit this morning. I wake up, no glasses, walk to the bathroom, step in shit, wipe it off, go back, step in shit again. I'm like 2 different spots. So I feel Emma says he have a funny
story. When I first brought him in my truck, he was only 12 weeks old. I had him in a crate. But to this day, every time I walk this dog, he will find something on the ground to eat, and it pisses me off. I don't care what it could be, a bag of shit. He'll try to eat it, But I'm serious, and it drives me. But he got himself sick, and he was in a crate. Well, for like 3 days, all I did was clean up diarrhea on the I'm like, one more time, I'm throwing you and the freaking crate out. I can't deal with this.
No. I do know. I'm
still here, ain't he?
Hey, I have had. Well, we've had like 7 pets throughout our 19-year relationship, and you get these. Like I had a bad cat for 19 years, and then you get those like they all get into the food and they shit themselves in the RV because we have an RV and we take the dogs, right? So we're cleaning up shit all over the RV, and then last. Like 3 weeks ago, my dog fell on my head, and he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna stop breathing." So animals are a pain in the ass, but we love them.
We do.
Thank you.
I'm in my truck. He's actually a really good companion. He's a lot of fun.
They are, but when they have the shits, it's not fun.
I've always had a dog in my forever. And I just want him to listen. You know what? I spent like $5 amazing shock collar, and I never put it on him because I don't want to do that to him. That's stupid. It's sitting in a freaking box, brand new. You know, and I'm like,
because
I'm putting that shock collar on you. He doesn't know what the fuck I'm saying, but I'm telling him anyway. You know, but I never do it. Yeah, I can't.
I dress my pets.
I don't want.
My other animals didn't like it, but my little girl now, she likes clothes because she's so small. But my other one would go like this. I'd put stuff on him and he'd act like I was torturing him. So I just wasted all the money. Oh, but then you step in shit and twice and it gets all, and you're like mad for a minute. And then you realize, oh man, yeah, we do love our fur babies for sure.
I realized something. This truck, when he was little, and he would, you know, in his crate or, you know, this truck is not that big, you know.
I know, I can see.
When dog shits like that in your truck, you know, smell is enough to make you puke, first of all. And then, you know, if it's in the wintertime, you can't run around with your windows wide open, you know, the whole entire time. And then you have all freaking, you know, paper and Lysol, and it's all in this fucking bag that's still in your truck because you're dry, you know, you throw it away. Now it smells like shit and Lysol mixed together. You know, yeah.
That's the gist of it, man.
Let me tell you. But he's still alive. See, he's still good.
Hey.
He's 90 pounds.
Just don't let him out. Damn, you got a 90-pound fucker in there. Huh?
Oh, he's not even done growing yet. His mom and dad were like 120 pounds.
Oh, he's still a baby?
He's only a year old.
Okay, yeah, he's still got to grow.
Yeah, he's
I want to
still
see his
growing.
face. Can we see his face?
Hey, Blake.
Or is oh my goodness, look at how handsome he is.
He's a handsome boy. He's Merle. He's got the spots on him, so he's kind of rare, actually. He's got the Merle gene. He's actually a double Merle. Mom and dad, which we didn't know, have the Merle gene. We got to test it out. So he's a double Merle. And if I bred him, his pups would have been like $3,000.
Did you get him fixed?
Oh yes, I got him fixed. The
Hell
dog
yeah,
was,
I would too.
yes, the dog was humping my arm when I was driving. Are you kidding me? I couldn't get him off. I had to grab him by the balls and drop him to his knees.
Hey, it's too bad we can't get men fixed, huh, ladies out there? That the ladies that have husbands
they told me it would calm him down. It didn't calm him down. It just pissed him off. That's all it did. Yeah, that's why he pillows. He doesn't hump the pillows the way he chews them now. Yeah.
Yeah, they told me that too, and it doesn't do it. They say, they won't leg lift anymore. That's not true. They still piss all over my stuff. They mark everything.
No, you know what? He will not pee or poop in my truck. He knows better than to do that. And this dog can hold it. But when he starts doing one of these, like he's almost not like that. That's a growl because he hates the phone. But when he he starts talking like a husky, that means I'm gonna burst. You better do something, or I will piss on the chair. That's pretty much what that means.
So that's good then. I'm glad he doesn't have accidents.
No, he's good now with that. Yeah. So anyway, but I just wanted to, thank you all for taking the time out, and I appreciate everything that everybody did, really.
But we all send our love,
including you, Jay, of course, and Kerry, and everybody. I can name every single one of you. Is Petty, Melly, let's see, Adam. I can name you all, every single one of you. If you need me to. And I don't even have no chat up because I can't, do chat and do this at the same time on my phone. But I know every single one, and I thank you all. I love you all, and thank you all very, very much for all your support and all your acceptance and all your willingness to help. It means a lot, really.
We really are like a little true crime family here, and tomorrow I'm gonna probably do Sarah Boone so we could just make fun of her about not being able to defend herself, so I could lighten up.
Who the hell is Sarah Boone? I didn't hear about her.
Sarah Boone and her boyfriend were playing hide and seek, Paul. Grown people playing hide and seek, and he hid inside a suitcase. And then he died because she
Stop it. Come on, please.
I'm not kidding with you. Yeah, that's real. Yeah, I'm not kidding with you. So
he hid inside of a suitcase and died?
and she filmed it, and she filmed it saying, "Sarah, come on, Sarah, just let me out." And she said, "Motherfucker, listen, motherfucker, this is how I feel. That's how I feel when you cheat on me." And then she went to bed.
She left him in the suitcase and he died.
Yes, and he died. So that
what was he like? I'm gonna say I'm gonna say that word no more because it's not public. Was he a little person?
no, he was just a regular dude.
How did he fit in this? How big was this suitcase?
It wasn't that
Was
big.
it a body bag?
I don't know. Now we gotta see. I guess he's a contortionist. I don't know. We're gonna cover that case.
I knew of a case years and years ago where kids were playing hide and seek, and the sister hid in the dryer, and the brother turned it on. And she was like, she wasn't right after that. She was in there a little too long, I think.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Well,
but the brother, the brother, they put him like in a juvenile home for a while. Then yeah.
Well, you'll have to look at it because it was a regular ass suitcase, Paul, and he hid himself in there. And
sorry, it's not right. The man's dead.
It's not, but you know what?
Why?
You know why she called the cops? Because she couldn't get him straight. I mean, she called the cops because he's dead, but he like when she opened it, he was in a ball like this, still hiding, and freaking they had to like fall.
Yeah, he in the field, but he thought he was in his mother's womb. He was in a case. Come on.
Yeah, he went where he started from. That's for sure, man.
He died in the fetal position. Holy crap.
Sure did.
I wonder if your soul can get out and stuck in there. Is your soul stuck in there too?
That's what I'm wondering.
Don't
If you take that suit,
your soul pop it out when they unzip you. What happens?
but they're gonna take that suitcase to court, and we're gonna see it. I bet they're gonna show us.
Charging her with murder or manslaughter? What are they charging her with?
She's got a second-degree murder. It's second degree, and guess what? She bugged the lawyers so much that now she has to be pro se, and she doesn't get a lawyer at all. So now we get to watch her struggle and just bug the judge and bug everybody else.
Doing this shit?
Yeah, I'm covering it. She's I don't know if she's bugging them on purpose or she's just dumb. So I gotta cover it because it's like
dumb for leaving him in the suitcase. I mean, come on, who does that?
Yeah, but then she lied about it, and they found the video on her phone. So
on her phone, oh yeah. What I'm talking about? Why are right? You know? Let me
I don't know.
I'm going to record this and I'll put it in the hidden part of my phone so no one will find it. Yeah.
Oh, and I told him, Carrie, that she's her own attorney now. She's gone through 8 attorneys. She's her own 9th attorney. Nobody will take her case. So she's pretty much screwed. But it's one of those things that it's like a train wreck.
When are you
What's
doing
that?
When's the next time you do this case, the Boone case?
I'm probably going to do the Sarah Boone case tomorrow. I want to cover the. Yeah, I want to.
I'll definitely be there for this. I need to see this.
Yeah, you got to see that. I'll play the. I'll show you. I'll show you the suitcase and everything.
In there before I opened it on the phone.
No, they didn't. I wish they did. But he went in there.
That out.
He went in. No, they didn't. They didn't cut it out. They didn't show it. They already.
Someone will leak that out.
Oh, maybe at court. Yeah, when they opened it.
Oh yeah. No, just stuff like bulges and stuff. I mean, this guy. I mean, that's just why.
I mean,
a hide and seek. Going to where you find a suitcase. That's the first thing that comes to your mind.
It was in the middle of the floor too. I don't even.
Was it on wheels? Like you could wheel it?
I think so. I think so. All right, John.
Wonder, we should be
All
laughing.
right.
Somebody died.
I know. And you know what? It's a true crime thing, though. You got to make it, you got to make light of it sometimes. So, and the Sarah Boone case, everyone knows that's.
I think, I joke a lot with people because I can laugh at myself. And if I was stupid enough to die playing hide and seek and putting myself in a suitcase, I would. when I was above my body looking down, I would go, "What a fucking day! What were you thinking?" That's exactly what I would say. You're such an asshole. What are you doing? Really?
And then he was, he's like, Sarah, aren't you going to let me out? And you can see the suitcase kind of bobbing around. But I still don't understand. I really don't know how he couldn't get out. Honestly, like, I'm still confused about that case.
Which case? It's on his case.
His case, because you know what? I would fight my way out of a damn suit.
Well, maybe he was so crunched up in there he really couldn't move, And that's,
yeah, but he got in there willingly. Somebody said they were playing sex games. I don't know.
Himself up.
What's that?
How did he zip himself up from the inside?
He didn't. She just zipped him up from the outside, but he willingly got in. So I don't know, man. I guess we'll find out.
At first, I thought they were playing hide and seek, and that's where he was hiding. So I thought what was going on here. So basically, she said to him, "Hey, let's see if you can fit in that suitcase." And the idiot tried.
He did. He got in, and she zipped him up, and then she didn't let him out, and she went to bed. You can't make this up. Yeah, you can't make this up. And I'm definitely, he's people are saying, and I don't know, is it true? I think he was naked too. People are saying they were doing like kinky sex kind of things or something, but that's beyond me. So
don't tell me that there was a zipper that opened up at the bottom of the suitcase or some shit. Really? Come on.
No, I don't know what. Petty says, when geniuses get drunk and play hide and seek. That's what we're going to go with.
I never heard of such stupid shit in my life. I needed that. That's funny. That's good.
All right, y'all. You guys are dropping out. I need to go make dinner. Hold on. I didn't hear you.
Him actually, getting in there.
That's why I wanted to show you. I'm going to send you a clip of it on your phone just so you could be like, what the fuck?
Please. Yeah, that's crazy.
I will.
All right.
I'm going to say good night.
Guilty. Thank everybody. I thank each and every single one of you from the bottom of my heart, and from my daughter also for everything, And I love you all, and thank you very much, really.
And we love you, and we're here. We're not going anywhere, so come back.
I'm a member. I've paid for
you. Are
right. I'm coming.
Come back. All right, Paul. I love you. You know it. And
yeah, really. I love all you guys. Yeah.
Good night. I'm gonna go make some food.
See you tomorrow.
Guilty of crime.
I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my content, please share this video, like, and subscribe. You can also follow me over at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, or Gmail. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can use Cash App or Venmo or PayPal. Thank you very much in advance. Guilty of crime.
Are you guilty of crime?